What's up, everybody? The stream with McCaul will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience. Just kidding, it's starting right now.
What is up? We got this thing kicking, Joe? What's happening, guys? We have this thing kicking, Joe? I think we're good, yeah?
Hello? How about now?
Hey. Yeah, got you, man.
Were you not hearing me before?
There we go.
Anyway, we should be live, I think. I think things are working. Let us know.
Yeah, we're good. We're kicking. Yep. It would not be the Cranked Developer live stream if we didn't have some sort of tech glitch at the beginning of the show. And I will say for the first time this episode, which makes 2 in a row, man, we need a producer. That is where we are. Welcome, everybody. This is the Cranked Developer live stream. As always, I'm Brian, and I'm here with one of my best friends, Joe, game director of Cranked, our game. And we are really stoked to welcome our buddy Cam McCaul to the show. Cam, welcome, man. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us today.
What's up? Thank you so much for having me. I'm stoked to be here and shoot the breeze for a couple hours. Let's do it.
Ready to go. The reason Cam is with us today, Joe, can you say something? I just want to make sure we've got your vocals kicking here, man.
Yeah, yo, check 1, 2. Anyone? Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. I want to do a quick intro of Cam here for anybody who needs it, which is probably exactly nobody on the stream right now. But Joe, tell us what you're doing real quick on the screen before we jump into this beeswax.
I'm just ripping the new build, actually. It's not released yet to you guys. I just got this today from Zach, but I'll probably release it after the stream. And we'll talk about what's included in it, but I'm just going to be ripping down, cruising some trails while Brian talks.
Cool. So yeah, we invited Cam by. Our buddy Joey K, who I see is in the chat right now. Welcome, Joey. Is one of our OG founding players. And when we were talking about Cranked collabs and how we kind of wanted to really curate who we work with and try to make it super cool, he suggested Space Mesa. I've been listening to Space Mesa ever since. I consider it kind of like a mountain biking supergroup, so to speak. Cam is, I think you write the songs, Cam. I know you're a guitar player and a vocalist. Do you write the songs as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we collabed with these guys, and we have an in-game shirt that anybody checking the stream out with us right now will be able to claim. You can claim it as of right now. The address to claim the shirt is in the show notes on YouTube if you want to check that out. You can also just go to bit.ly/Space Mesa, and that will take you directly to the claim portal. 72 hours to claim this in-game shirt, which when Joe finishes ripping, we'll share with you guys. And we'll get into all the details about that shirt more later. But Cam, let's just kind of catch up. Man, what have you been up to lately, dude?
Did you want me to show the shirt?
Did you see that manual that Joe just did? He made it look way too easy.
Yeah,
I mean, I can do it in the game. I can't do it good in real life, but hey.
we can show the shirt in a few minutes.
I'm still working on my game manuals, man. My
Yeah.
game manuals are slacking. But look, I'm going to be able to practice because I actually got one of these beasts now. Here we go.
Nice.
What were you asking?
Joe, let's do the drop here in a little bit. Let's get through intros first. I want to kind of give Cam a chance to talk about what you've been up to lately, man. I know you were in the studio recently. What else is happening?
Yeah, since Crankworks Whistler, been kind of traveling a fair bit, so it's good to be home right now. I went to the Woolly Fest, which was a Fest Series event near Bellingham, Washington, in the town of Cedro Woolly. And yeah, just wanted to go get laps there, ride these big jumps. It was a blast. See everybody. My brother went, Zink went. So like hang out with friends, ride with friends. In the back of my mind, I was like, don't hurt yourself, Cameron, because you have some commentary jobs coming up. And so the day after I got home from that, I went to Switzerland and did the broadcast for the Pump Track World Championships, which was super fun. It was a learning experience because it was a different field of athletes than I'm familiar with. A lot of BMXers, so I had to do my homework, learn a lot about that discipline, that format they used for that particular race, and then all the athletes that were the front runners in that. And then I was home for a day, and then I went to LA to do a voiceover session for some content that Red Bull is doing, leading into Red Bull Rampage. So it's going to be an hour and a half long top 100 moments of Red Bull Rampage. So we were in the voiceover studio for like 8 hours just dialing that in. It was me and another speaker, commentator. She's a YouTuber. Her name is Michelle Care, and she does crazy stuff. She's got like 5 million subscribers or something. So
Dang.
it was the two of us just kind of reminiscing over 20 years of great Rampage moments. And then while I was down in LA, my buddy Dusty and I, we do this band together. We went into a studio for a couple days that one of his childhood friends owns and runs this studio. So yeah, the entire month of September has been a lot of traveling for a variety of different things, and it was super fun, but it's also really great to be back home right now and enjoying some late summer, early fall riding conditions here in Bend, Oregon.
I don't know how you made time to hang out with us fools over here with that schedule like that, but it's cool you've got so many cool things going on.
I got questions about some of your things.
I'm a fan of what you guys have going on here. I think it's really cool. Not only the fact that it's a new mountain bike video game, but also that you guys are involving your community so much in the development of it. It really, I don't know, it appeals to me because you guys seem like you're doing it for the right reasons, and there is a passion driving it, and I think that's great. I'm down.
Thanks. I got a question about that Rampage thing. When does that hour and a half special air, and where does it air?
I'm not sure. I can tell you what I do know, and that is we did 8 hours of voiceover and wild lines and like just babbling stream of consciousness about 20 years of Red Bull Rampage. So if it were me editing it, it wouldn't be up tomorrow, but I'm sure they've got a professional team and it'll be up sooner rather than later as we now find ourselves, holy cow, we're a month away. We're a month away from Rampage right now.
Nice.
It's coming quick.
Sweet. Well, you know, I'd like to talk a lot about Space Mesa, which is what this collab is about. I'm a huge music fan. I've basically listened to Space Mesa more than anybody else ever since our Joey K kind of suggested you guys. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But Joe, maybe we take a second, since you're not crushing a world record lap right now, to talk about this collab and to do the official drop, get the code up, etc. Sound okay?
Yep.
Cool.
Shout out to Joey K. Thanks, Joey K.
Yeah, man. You hook it up. So we have this thing called Cranked Collabs, and the gist is we just find other people who are kind of doing things for the love of it because they're really into it and they're just making it as good as they can, that are adjacent to mountain biking, adjacent to the game we're making, the space that we're in. And we just do these occasional collaborative drops, in-game t-shirt drops, where you have 72 hours from about 15 minutes ago is when I opened the window. We have 72 hours. Anybody who gets the code that we're about to give will be able to claim the shirt. And when it's available, when we have customization in this game, which is currently in the early stages, you'll have reserved these shirts. The only way you can get them is to claim with this code by Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And I mean it when I say, if it's after that moment and Joe tells me he forgot to send the code and he's not getting the shirt, this is the window. If you know somebody who wants it, make sure you tell them to claim it before then. I'm aware I'm going to have people say they tried to do it and they didn't get the shirt. Maybe they'll be true, maybe it won't. I'll have to navigate that. But the idea is that you are here with us for this live stream at some point over the course of a few days, and therefore you get this cool thing that you can only get right now. That's the gist. So we usually announce it 1 week like we did last week. We said it was coming this week. Cam came on the show with us, which is even better, and we're going to share what that shirt looks like and what the code is. Joe, did you load the code up to put it up on the screen?
Sure didn't.
All right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I mean, I can't.
We need a producer is what we need. It's the code. Well, first of all,
or you need to get Fish to put the code on the graphics to make it easy for you.
That's the way to go. Fish, I don't know if you're listening, man, but that's probably on me. But let's go ahead and do the drop, guys. Let's show what the shirt looks like front and back. There it is. Boom. This shirt is only going to be available now for 3 days. After this, we might do some different colorways that you can get in the game that anybody can get. But to get this red one, kind of like last week's Rad Dog shirt. The only way you can get it is right now. The code, which we need to get on the screen somehow and somewhere, is Candle-Wax, which is a song that Space Mesa released in 2025. You will find that code and the link to redeem in the show notes on YouTube right now, or you can go to bit.ly, which is bit.ly/Space Mesa. And that'll take you right to the redemption portal where you can drop the code in and reserve it, and you will get it when we add it to the game later. That's the gist.
Yeah.
The best thing is Cam has made a real version of this shirt, which is available to buy if anybody wants to get one of these real things. It didn't exist. It wasn't buyable until about 5 minutes before we went live today. Now it is. We will put the link to that in the show notes as well, and we'll spread it all over Discord, and we'll share it throughout the course of the coming days too. So, support these guys, support people making cool original music and doing something that they really love by grabbing one of these t-shirts. I'm definitely going to do that. So hopefully y'all do too.
What's the code?
Hell yeah, man.
Candle-Wax. That is the code. This is the code, y'all. Candle-Wax. Just like that, all lowercase. Take that to the forum, submit it. Make sure you use the email address that you use to sign up for Patreon, because you have to be a Patreon subscriber to do this. You can subscribe to our free Patreon. That's fine. But you have to at least be subscribed to the Patreon to make this claim. So use that same email address and the code, Candle-Wax, and you'll be good to go.
Word.
I'm going to be stoked to see people rocking the shirt. I have a question. When the game is finished and people do have the shirt and they're ripping around, is there ever like a world where you are riding and you're interacting with other people who are riding? Like, will I be riding through and I'll be like, oh, look, that person has the Space Mesa shirt? Or is it all like you're in your own world?
Nah, we do plan to have multiplayer. We're actually going to start working on that probably in the next couple months. So yeah, you'll be able to hop in here and see other people riding around. We're trying to make it feel like a real life living bike park. You know, you see other people on the trail, you can go up to them, interact with them. We'll have proximity chat. So like as you get close to people and you talk in your microphone, they can hear what you're saying and things like that. So yeah, that's the plan. So hopefully you can hop in here in the future and see some people cruising with your shirts.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the purposes. One of the points of the thing of Cranked Collabs is just that you can have something that, you know, it's almost like if you were at a real bike park riding and you have a shirt nobody can get anymore. Kind of that dynamic is what we're going for. So,
and I don't know if you guys have been in Whistler Bike Park recently, but like that is such a thing now for sure. Like it used to be, oh yeah, you got to have like your custom painted helmet or your like custom painted bike, whatever. Now it's like, I guess maybe it's a symptom of mountain biking, like being around for long enough now though. But if somebody has like something that's old that you can't get anymore too, you're like, where did you get that? Or how did you hold on to that for so long? It's kind of sick.
Yeah, no doubt. That's what we were going for.
My buddy Richie with Rad Dog, the t-shirt I'm wearing, in drop number 1 we did, I think he's got like an old Terrible One BMX frame in his bike shop right now too. And that's one of those things that everyone's like, oh shit, dude, where'd you get that? You know? People haven't seen those in years.
You know how you can ride so long without like making a mistake? Like I'm trying to get there. You've got the pop timing down really well. I kind of like the fact that if you don't watch, I'm gonna jinx you right when I say that, you're gonna case. But like if you don't pop at the right time off the lip, you're not making it.
That was close.
Cool.
Joe's like a top 10 rider, so he's really fast for sure. I mean, I saw Tails is of course in the call because he always is, and I've seen a couple of the fastest guys. Joe's up there with him, so yeah, he can ride this bike in this game for sure.
That's rad.
Which, if you guys saw, you know, we were hoping to have the new Frameworks bike in here for the stream. It's obviously not in the game for the stream, but we do have a new image of it, which I don't know, should we tease it now or should we wait and tease it later?
Now let's give it a couple minutes because we're getting, as you could expect, way behind on comments already, and I'm going to be a little careful with comments today. We have Cam on, and I don't want to spend too much time answering the same questions over and over again, but I will do some. But I don't know, Joe. Maybe we talk a little bit about Space Mesa, guys, for a bit, and while we're doing that, I'll kind of catch up on comments, and we can afterward, and then we can do the drop of Frameworks after that. Sound okay?
Yeah.
So Cam, tell us.
Comments. What's up, everybody? Someone's got to take their kid to the doctor. Well, good luck with that, Chill Clinton.
Chill Clinton, he's one of our regulars, man. He's always hanging out with us.
Dude,
So
Aaron also can't wait for the multiplayer. Aaron, am I going to see you out there with your Space Mesa shirt on?
Oh, you know you will. She's never
missed.
She's never missed a stream. She's super engaged in everything we do. This is a better community because Aaron's in it, and that's the truth of a lot of the people who are hanging out with, of everyone. But a lot of these people we just know from weeks of doing this now and hanging out with them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cam, tell us a little more about Space Mesa. How did? First of all, let's talk about everybody else who's in the band. You know, I kind of know Dusty a little bit. I watched his wife race many times, motocross back in the day. Tara Geiger, super ripping fast on a dirt bike, man. Woo! That woman can ride a dirt bike. Tell us about how the band came together, who all's in it, etc.
Yeah, I would say the origin story of the band is kind of like Dusty and I meeting way back when through Nitro Circus. That's how we met, was like the first ever practice session for Nitro Circus Live, and everybody was just getting together and riding this like mega ramp with the resi landing, and yeah, I'd never seen anything of Dusty before. I'm like, who's this guy who's crazy enough to try anything and everything? Like, he's on a boogie board with wheels on it, he's on a rocking horse, he's the guy doing the craziest stuff on the trikes. And, you know, we struck up a friendship. We got to talk, and, you know, one thing led to another, and I got invited onto the first tour, which was a capital city tour down in Australia. So now we're like, you know, living in hotels, living on buses, traveling from arena to arena to do these live shows. And, you know, you get to know all the people that you're touring with. And Dusty and I quickly figured out that we both have really loved playing music our whole lives. Kind of, you know, similar stories, you know, just like being around guitars for one reason or another at a young age, and like feeling drawn toward it and learning, you know, learning how to play. And then that leads to you wanting to like play something that you're creating yourself. And next thing you know, you're kind of writing songs. And we were living pretty far apart. You know, he was in Southern California, I was in Northern California, but he would travel up to ride the dirt jumps that we had in the town that I grew up in a lot. And so we would end up playing instruments a little bit, and slowly but surely we're writing songs that actually have a beginning, middle, and an end. You know, they're like if you start to build a trail and you don't finish the trail, you're like, well, it's not really a trail yet, you know. You can't lap it. So you get to the point where you can write a song that you can, you know, ride top to bottom. And, you know, we were going through that process kind of simultaneously. I moved up to Bend, Oregon. It's where my wife is from. We had a 1-year-old at the time, so we relocated our lives to Bend. And then a couple years later, Dusty and Tara also relocated their lives to Bend. So we're like, oh man, this is great. Not only can we ride together and make videos together, but we can like play music together more often. We were trying to do the thing where, you know, living far apart, he would send me a guitar idea and I would try to like put drums to it. And you're just like, oh man, we need to be in the same room. So once we both lived in the same town, we could kind of, you know, do it more often, speed up the process. And then we started recording just the two of us. We would do, you know, foundation recordings with like a drum and a rhythm guitar track, and then we would overdub bass, we'd overdub the background vocals, and we started realizing that we had other friends who also liked playing music. So one was Doug Jamber. He's a mountain bike filmer. He was living in Bend at the time. He moved to Bellingham, so we're like, all right, the band's dead. And then we, before it even started, and then we met another good friend who has become a good friend now, Josh Venti. And if any of the mountain bikers on here have ever seen the Pacific City Trails, which has kind of just been a private network of trails for the last handful of years, but they are in the middle of building all their public trails now in Pacific City. So Pacific City is about ready to just be like the hot spot on the West Coast of America for trail destinations. They're about ready to open up all their trails. Follow Torda on Instagram. It's the Tillamook Off-Road Trail Alliance. And then follow Josh. It's Bros and Hoes Landscaping. Their trails are like
I love
incredible,
that name.
but aside from being like a great trail builder and rider. Josh also has been in a band for like 20 years, and he's a fantastic bass player. So we started bringing our songs to Josh, and they're so easy for him because he plays stuff like, you know, he loves Tool, he loves Primus, like he is a bass player's bass player, you know? So like our stuff that's like influenced by simpler bands on my side of things, like Dusty and I both write our own songs. So my stuff is influenced by simpler inspirations. He picks up real quick. And then Dusty's stuff is a little bit more complicated. Like you got to memorize it. It takes a little bit longer to memorize it. But regardless, Josh can memorize them no problem. And so we started playing some shows with Josh and Doug. And then, you know, Doug would get busy or not be available. So then we did some shows with Ryan Rodriguez, who you've probably seen him on Instagram as well. Ryan has a good following. He's a great rider. What is his Instagram name? Ryan M. Rodriguez. And his content's always super fun to watch. But he's been in bands for years as well. Him and his brother had a band for a long time before Ryan got into mountain. He's a really great musician. So like Dusty and I, who, you know, piece together our own things and write songs together, can show these songs to these three different, you know, members of the rhythm section. That's kind of like a revolving door, conveyor belt sushi type of scenario. And when we do get together with those other guys and play live, it's the most fun thing in the world. And we look forward to doing it more. But even if logistics make it hard to play live shows on a regular basis, it doesn't stop us from writing songs and recording songs. And that's Space Mesa in a nutshell.
Nice, man. Hey Joe, I have a favor to ask of you. If you could, when you get a second, take a break and head over to the the link in bio aggregator thing on TikTok and update the redemption code and everything. It's still from when we did it before, so we needed to go. I don't have access to that, I don't think. So we need to go inside of the link in bio aggregator thing and change it to bit.ly/Space Mesa and candle-wax, so people can just kind of go up into the bios on TikTok and get everything they need to redeem. Everybody on TikTok, thank you for being patient. And we'll ask for a little more patience today, actually, because we want to kind of be able to have good conversation here and not break things too much. I think what I'm probably going to do is every now and then take a quick break and just do a quick run through of comments and catch up where I can. I'll do that right now if that works with you guys, Joe and Cam. Good for me to take a quick.
I'm just reading through them right now, so I'm sure you're looking at the same ones as me, and some are jumping out at you. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm going to start with TikTok. A couple of these things are going to be common questions that we get asked a lot, but also we appreciate that people on TikTok stumble onto us the way you do, and you come in and you don't know these things already. So it's good that we answer this. I will probably do it a couple times today and not too many times, but I'm going to go through and do a run right now as we scream through here. Game name, of course, is Cranked. And you can find it on Patreon. That's how you can play the same build Joe is playing right now, by supporting us on Patreon. We are developing a game with Radical Candor in the open. We have started by releasing this thing as soon as it was playable, pretty much, and we are going to continue this throughout the development process. We basically talk about everything we're doing. We oftentimes have meetings here on these lives where we'll save something we want to talk about and do it live in front of everybody. We will not have ads in the game. We'll have partners, but we're not going to have advertisements in the game. You know, partners like Cam and Space Mesa, and we want to get brands in the game and stuff too, but we're not going to have ads. We're not going to have hooks, like exploitative hooks where you have microtransactions and stuff like that. None of it's going to happen. Every decision we make when it comes to Cranked is, do we genuinely believe that this decision is going to make this game better? And our philosophy is, by doing this, being open about everything, telling people what we know, what we don't know, doing the absolute best work we can, getting feedback from people along the way, that we're just going to be able to make a game that's so good that everything else will kind of work itself out. And we're not going to worry too much about how we're going to monetize the thing or making projections or things like that. We just don't really think too much that way. So that kind of gives you the idea of who we are and what we're doing. You can get the game by going to Patreon. There's the address is on the screen right now. You can see it right there. You can support us there. You'll need to do that if you want to claim the in-game shirt, but you can just get the free one. So it doesn't cost anything if you get a free one. That will allow you to unlock this Space Mesa in-game shirt, which you will have access to when we add customization to the game. I see somebody, Finney's asking when we would show the new bike, the Frameworks bike, which is another real world partner we're working with. They're doing something super dope, kind of like we are, building it in public, talking about it, fueling it with heart and soul and honesty, and trying to make it as good as they can. And that really resonates with us. So we're stoked to partner with them. It'll be the first real bike in the game, or the first new bike in the game, and also the first like real graphics in the game, because most of the graphics you see on the screen are placeholders. And Joe or Cam, anything to say while I move on to the next one? I don't want to hog the mic too much, but I do want to try to catch up on these.
You're good. Keep it ripping on my side.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Joe's working on adding to the bio on LinkedIn the URL where you can redeem your code and the code, which is candle-wax. So if you're on TikTok, give it a second and you'll be able to go up to the bio and you'll find it from our link in bio. And if you're on YouTube, you can go into the show notes. They're already there. You'll see the URL and you'll see the redemption code. Ollie says the game's fun. Thanks, man. I agree. I think it's great. Appreciate it. And like to see you here. Are there different camera angles like third person? Great question. We get it a lot. And the answer is we will. We decided to prioritize first person initially because the bike and the rider just looks like vulture vomit, basically, that we had in the game. It's so terrible, the bike and model and the rider that we've had so far, that it's become a running joke for us. So, you know, you show third person and you put a spotlight kind of on the rider a lot more than you do in first person. You know, in first person, you can't really see it. So we decided let's wait until the bike looks good and the rider looks good the way we want, and then we'll focus on third person. Also, we fully expect third person to be a significant challenge, and we know that's going to take us some time to get it right. You're right, Diabetes. This game is not about cranking. It's just called Cranked. That is it. I mean, I guess it could be for some people, but yeah, that's not the intention. Let's see what else we have here. Cam, have you seen any comments in here that got your attention that you want to respond to?
I'm only looking in YouTube.
That's cool. You can jump over there.
Yeah. Well, the name jumped out at me because you guys had said Joey K, right? And,
yeah. Yeah.
I think he's the one who was like, "Hey, I have Space Mesa." So I want to answer his question because Joey, thank you for bringing up that idea. It's really cool to be here, and it's because of you. And you say that you didn't know that I used to county. That's Brad. I grew up in Santa Cruz County, Aptos specifically. I do have a buddy from the Aptos days named Jeff Herbertson, who was up in Humboldt County. I'm not sure if you know him. But yeah, Aptos, born and raised, and then relocated to Bend, Oregon in 2014. So I'm just about ready to hit the 11th year here next month in Oregon.
Nice. Ethan said he joined the Patreon stream. The Patreon after the last stream has been loving the game. Keep it up. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'm glad that you're there. If you haven't hung out with us on Discord, feel free to join us there too. We got Cam on Discord. We're pretty active there, And oh, by the way, sometimes we miss questions and comments on here. It's not intentional. It's hard. We've got multiple things going on. I've got raging ADHD. It makes it hard for me to see these things well sometimes. So if I ever miss anything, please just come find us on Discord and ask us, and we engage with everybody. Ask anybody who hangs out with us there. We are a part of that community very, very strongly, and we make sure we respond to everybody. Cool. How hard to make the mountain bike look like you're laying down, like an IRL adaptive wheelchair bike? That's a super interesting point that nobody's ever brought up before. I don't know the answer to that, Paralyzed Posty. It's a good question, though, and I would like to... It's more of a question, I think, to pose to Zach, our programmer. I think it would change the physics of the bike a little bit, but I don't know how the way he's built these physics that would impact us. So if you happen to come over on our Discord with us, you could ask that question and Zach will answer it. Or he's got a live stream on our Discord coming up tomorrow to talk about programming, and you could hop on there and ask him too. He'll be able to answer the question about how difficult that is. But it's an interesting question nobody's ever posed before, and I appreciate it.
We changed some settings, and now my muscle memory is so messed up. So if you guys see me messing up my restarts, it's because we move buttons around.
You've actually got like whips too. You're using the lean button to do the whip?
Yeah, so I use a combination of both sticks. Kind of just move both sticks around. You kind of just got to get playful with it and kind of just experiment, see what feels good. We have what's called like free whip physics. So a lot of games do canned animations. So you would hit like up down on a certain button. That was bad. and then it would do like a canned animation. But with ours, it's all free physics. So you're kind of, with the 2 sticks, you control everything, and it's up to you to kind of figure out your style of whip with the controls. So, you know, you can do
That's
kind of...
cool. That's better than, so I'm guessing canned animation is like the pull string puppet that only says 3 things and it's always the same, right? This way you can like have your own fingerprint whip because it's more about what your thumbs are doing. Is that how it works?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You can develop your own style.
You missed that corner that time.
I screwed that up a little bit, but you know, it's all right. We'll get a rundown under our belt, and then we'll start ticking off times.
Yeah.
Dusty and I, speaking of ADD, when we were playing, we got on the challenge of trying to do a 360 because we weren't sure if it was possible or not. And it took us forever, but we got it. And then we saw that it popped up on screen like, you did a 360. So we're like, okay, cool. That's a thing that is like, it is available, but it's not easy to do. You have to like find some big air and time it right.
Yeah, and the thing that's cool with the spins and the flips, and this was like community feedback we got, and then we implemented it, was with spins, similar to in real life, if you kind of like pencil up, you know, you can spin faster. So we made it so that on the right stick controls, like if you're crouched or standing like this, so in a flip, if you tuck it and you tuck the bike close to you, you'll spin faster in a flip. But if you're in a spin and you kind of stand up and pencil up, you'll spin faster that way. So you can kind of like, you know, make the spins faster and the flips faster based on if you're tucked or not.
Damn, just mid conversation stomps it. Yeah, we obviously like got distracted and started trying to do tricks because I guess that's just
The fun, dude.
Virtual life imitates real life.
Yeah.
But I think the thing we enjoyed most too was like, well, you just blaze right down the middle, but like the more tech sections where you actually like have to use your brakes to be able to not blow off course. That was kind of fun because that felt, you know, similar in the brain as it feels when you're like actually riding. It was cool.
You know what's funny is, do we even have any tracks right now that the best players have to use their brakes on, Joe? Because I know that Joe and others want to make even more technical tracks where you simply have to use your brakes. But are the fastest guys getting through every track without braking at all now, Joe? Or
I don't
not
know.
the case?
Tails, let us know, and any other fast guys in the comments. I think they've done. I think there's some where. See, why is it restarting me up here? Zach, are you watching? Still not right. Double tap should have put me back in the start gate, Zach. I don't know if you're watching. Yeah, I think most of the time you can get by without brakes on most of these tracks right now.
Cool. Everybody, just a heads up. If you ask comments and we don't respond initially, just please be patient. I'm doing my best, and we'll definitely get to as many as I possibly can as we move forward. Cam, I'd be curious about your take on, you know, one of the things that we talk about a lot is the balance of fun and realism. Like, we're not trying to make a game that is a simulation here. It's kind of what we would call a simcade game, like a cross between a simulation and an arcade. When Joe talks about like looking for realism, what he's searching for is realism in feeling. Like, not realism in every, you know, every component works the same as it does in real life and all that. You know, it's not a simulation, but he's trying to,
that's
like,
what real life is for.
Exactly.
Yeah, right, exactly. He's trying to replicate what it feels like and kind of make it to where, like, the game is so accessible that when you first start it, you can already kind of feel like you're good enough to be a pro, but like a back of the pack type pro. And then as you get better, you can, you know, the skill gap is deep enough that you can become like the best of all time type pro. So what's your take on the balance of things? Like, as you've played it a little bit, have you had any feelings about if you saw a jump that seemed unrealistic because it was massive or whatever, that you thought, that doesn't seem real? Or like, what's your take on that whole balance that we're trying to do?
Yeah, I think it's cool. The first time we played it is we were like 50-50 casing some of those bigger jumps like you're talking about. And then we went back to the drawing board. Probably wouldn't have put this jump here with this amount of run-in if it weren't possible to clear. It's like a mandatory gap on the trail. So then we kind of started thinking about what you would normally do if you were riding to try to clear that gap. And like, well, you'd have to pop. And so then we like, all right, well, how do you pop? Figured out button was in charge of popping, and we were popping at the wrong time. So we realized, okay, similar to real life on a bike, you can't just know how to pop, you got to know when to pop. And so once we kind of pieced all that together, we felt ourselves progressing, getting a little bit better, making it further into the lap before we blew off the trail and hit a tree like Joe just did. Yeah. And I think that's what made it fun too, is the fact that we we weren't good at it right away. We were just good enough to like get a taste and get a little bit hooked. But then when things are hard to learn, like biking really is, or like, you know, playing an instrument really is, those are the things that you keep doing because, you know, you get rewarded with a good feeling when you put the time in and progress. And so that was what was fun about trying it out first time.
Cool. Right on. I'll be curious as we move forward how you feel about the balance. Like, it's something we're really trying to nail. We don't want to do anything that's not fun. We're not going to do something just for the sake of doing it because we can say it's realistic. If it's not more fun, we're making video games here. Like, ultimately, they need to be fun. That's kind of the whole key. And, you know, we are the sort of the OG Mad Skills crew. So if you're making Mad Skills Motocross, there are always elements of realism in that. But I mean, it's a side-scrolling arcade game, right? Finding that balance between fun and playable and elements of realism is kind of what we've always done. So we're trying to do the same thing here. And that balance isn't always easy. So we get a lot of feedback from people, and oftentimes people want more realism. And we often wonder, is it like technical realism you're looking for, or is it, normally these are people who are seeing videos and not playing it, I should say, but is it technical realism you're looking for, or just that feeling? I just wonder how that's going to age later. I thought I'd bring that up with you, Cam, so you can think about it as you play and get better at this game and give us some feedback later, maybe.
No, I think that's interesting. Like, I don't really have a desire to have it appear more real. I think like the thing that I enjoy the most about it, once we got over the novelty of like catching air and trying to do a flip or something, was the aspect of memorizing a trail and knowing what line to take. You know, just like in real mountain biking, there's going to be blind corners and you don't know what comes next, so you end up inevitably setting them up wrong. And so I don't know, I've like had such a funny like relationship with mountain biking in real life too, to where like I enjoy different things about biking now than I maybe did before as my relationship with the sport has evolved. And so maybe that's just what I'm seeking in a virtual representation of mountain biking, because it's what tickles me right now with mountain biking, is like riding the same section of trail in multiple ways, or trying to clean a technical section with efficiency just because of the feeling that it gives. Those are the things I'm interested in real life. And so I guess it's natural for me to be seeking those things while I'm holding one of these bad Sallys, you know?
Didn't I see a video you did on YouTube where you hit the same section three different
times?
ways, including
Yeah.
like, was that you, Cam, who did that video?
Yeah.
I thought
doing
so.
those more often now, and I did one yesterday and posted it this morning too. And it's funny, it's just like what I like to look for when I'm riding. And you know, in content creation, you're always trying to think about something that's repeatable, something that you want to do, and you're going to be excited. And this wasn't one of those like brainstorms. I just like did it one day, you know? And I was like, holy crap, all the things that I wanted to like scale into like a repeatable series and enjoy it, like this ended up just happening naturally. So I'm like, I'm just going to keep doing this. And it will be exciting to go to different places and do them in those places. And they're super easy to shoot, super easy to edit. And most importantly, I enjoy it. And yeah, try as I might to create something far too complicated in hopes of making something that I can repeat. And then I'll accidentally stumble upon something that just feels right. And that was the case with this one. It's super fun.
Nice.
I love that series. The one you posted yesterday or whatever, dude, was just mental. Like, the second one was already so fast, and I'm like, he's gonna triple this on the third one, isn't he? And then it's just like, you just go, dude, the speed is gnarly, and then you throw a little shrelp at the end too. Like, how many spokes did you bend on that bad boy?
Yeah, no, the wheels are holding tough, but like, it was cool too because I went out just riding one day, no, you know, tripod, no camera, nothing. I was just like, I'm gonna just ride this section and see which three ways would be legit. And I was like, I'm not sure if you can triple this thing. And I was riding with Carson Storch and a couple other friends, and we're like, what line would you have to take in the section before it in order to be able to triple it? So like day one was just like riding and figuring out what was possible, and then I got to go back by morning and then go shoot them. But it's fun because it started out as like is it possible to triple this thing? It's like, oh, there's a rumor that so-and-so tripled it. Well, what line did they take into it to be able to have enough speed, And I experimented with like 3 different ways of riding the previous section to come in with enough speed. And then once I found the right way to come in, then it's like, oh, it's just a little pop off the first lip.
No big deal, dude. Just a little pop.
But then you do come into the berm like way too fast. And then after the berm is the biggest jump on the trail. And if you hit it without braking, you would just completely flat bottom. So then you have to like, shrub the berm for fun, but also to lose a little speed and then tap a little bit of brake before like hitting the kicker. But those things are fun, like, I don't know, so much of my riding life has been about like landing that next trick. And like, those were from my competition days, which are long gone, but then also just like in like heavy free ride filming days, trying to like, it's not even worth taking the camera out unless you're doing like the craziest trick off that next jump. So I don't know, I'm having so much fun with mountain now. Enjoy the sections that used to not matter, but they do matter. Like the whole trail is a work of art, just in the same way as like, a song should be listened to top to bottom. Like I like to ride the trail and think about.
I think an album should be listened to top to bottom.
That's like a trail network is like an album. But I like riding a trail and like imagining what trail made those decisions to place this corner where they did, or to place those rollers where they did. And in the case of this trail, like I got to be involved in the creation of the trail, and there's 2 more that still haven't opened yet. But like, I don't know, that's like helping me fall back in love with mountain. And it like has parallels with the reasons why I fell in love with mountain biking in the first place. And it was like exploring trails that were built for hiking, but were fun for biking and existed right under my nose in the woods that I live next to. Like when I'm in the woods now riding a trail, I get to feel the same way I did when I was just a curious kid on a mountain bike in Aptos. I'm like, these things that I love about mountain biking now are the same things that I used to love about mountain biking, which is kind of cool.
Nice. That's awesome, dude. We have the world kept spinning says, please, I beg you devs, add split screen, please, please, please. And there are more pleases in there. And then it goes to another add split screen, which I think sort of compounds all the pleases that came before it. So Joe, you have a significant request for split screen. Thank you for that request. We've heard that before, Joe, I know.
Yeah. I mean,
yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. What about split screen?
Yeah, seriously. Split screen's hard just because I'm assuming you'd probably want it on you're probably a console player. I don't think anyone really plays split screen on PC, but consoles are they don't perform as well as PC either. So to make split screen work where you're like rendering 2 versions of the game kind of on a console where they're going to have a huge environment, it might be kind of hard to do. So not sure it'll happen. But what you can do is just buy 2 PlayStations, connect them, get in the same house, and there you go. Have your own screen.
That's all you got to do. Just go buy a couple PlayStations. No big deal. A couple TVs too. If you want to play 2 full-size TVs beside each other, you don't have to split the screen then.
That's true.
Nothing like running 2 amps in stereo though, right guys?
Yeah, right.
Dude,
exactly.
That's like Dustin Kensrue from Thrice. He's got like some special built guitar and he runs it into 2 different amps, and then he's got a switch on the guitar to do it into like stereo or mono, or I don't know. Then each pickup goes to different cabs and shit. It's wild.
Yeah. That is what's up. That's funny. That's one of Dusty's all-time lifelong favorite bands you just mentioned.
Dude, me
Thrice.
too.
Thrice. Joe and I are planning a trip right now to see him on this tour. Let's see if Dusty wants to get up on that business, man.
Nice. Yeah, we saw them probably 5 or so years ago. They played the amphitheater. And they were opening for maybe Rise Against or something like that. But yeah, they were great, man.
Dude, they're
live.
so good. I've seen them probably 3 or 4 times now.
Oh, right. Hey, you need to check this out. Check it out. There's this dude, Hassan Laramie, and his Instagram is Art of Mouth. His favorite band is Thrice, and he's a quadriplegic, and he is a mountain biker. He loves music, and his favorite band is Thrice, and he does art with his mouth. He gets a pencil in there, and he does this insane, beautiful artwork. It's so intricate, you wouldn't even believe it when you see it. But there's a Thrice song that inspired that particular piece of art that I'm thinking about right now.
Nice.
And
what's the Instagram name?
Art of Mouth. I'm gonna go on so I can make sure I'm like giving you the right spelling. But
nice.
and he's working on another one right now too, and it's also the video that he posted maybe yesterday had a Thrice song in the background, so I'm not sure if this
Nice,
piece of
dude.
art is also inspired by
Just followed him.
Thrice, but it is Hassan, so Hassan is his first name, and then Laramie, Laramee _ art of mouth. And this is the piece of work that he has recently finished.
Nice.
It's freaking
Dude, that's
intricate.
insane.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
It's like a heart opening up. There's like a, a storm coming off the ocean with an eyeball, and like there's a bird. Like,
Dude, I feel like next Crank collab should be with him.
I agree, dude. That's a great idea.
I'll tell you what, Cam. I've been really thinking about wanting to get an artist who's adjacent to this world to do something where they could like make. I mean, they could work with something that they've already got if that's their preference, but also they could kind of come up with something new. You want to hook up a little introduction there when you get a chance, Cam?
100%. Yeah, we
Awesome.
we communicate on Instagram back and forth. Super cool, dude. And just like to like look at a piece of art like that and imagine how many hours it took him to do it with the method that he's using. He posts videos, sped up time-lapse videos of his process and stuff like that. It's just really freaking cool. I'd love to put you guys in touch.
Nice.
with
Awesome.
him. He kicks ass.
Hey guys, let me do a quick run through of YouTube comments real
Yeah, go
quick
for
and
it.
a couple of catch up on TikTok, and then why don't we do the drop? Why don't we show what we have of the bike? We're having a lot of people asking about that, and I figure we might as well get to it, Joe. Cool?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Right off the bat, I saw that Cedric's up in here and said, hey Cam, I just want you to know Antgrass in the chat on the YouTube side is Cedric. He is on the Session Syndicate Cranked team, and he is the one who's designed all these trails. He's been designing game trails for a long time. Before he was designing them in another game called Descenders, which is a fine game, a good game. But now he's working for us, and he's actually on our payroll, and he's kind of responsible for what this mountain's going to look like. So he's in the chat and wanted to say hey to you, man. Stoked to be here. Thanks for showing up as always.
His name's Cedric, right?
Yeah, Cedric. He goes by Antgrass, and he's known in the modding community as Antgrass, but his name's Cedric. Yeah.
Rad. Well, nice to meet you, Cedric. Thanks for all you're doing with this thing, man. It looks killer.
Later, Cam, we should Cedric, you should stick around, and Cam, we should talk about the trails and like your ideas and what we're doing good, what we're not doing good, what we're missing. I'd be curious to know like kind of what you think.
Cool. Yeah, I'd be curious to pick your brain on what you guys have in store for future plans too. So yeah, when the time comes, let's hit that up.
We are going to do a rapid fire response now where I try to just crush it so we can make sure that people feel seen and we're answering interesting questions. First of all, Erin hangs out with us at everyone. She rescheduled her physical therapy today to hang out with us in the live stream. I mean, come on, Erin.
Hell yeah.
It's like you keep trying to do things to make us like you more. I don't get it. It's crazy. And Tails, you're right. The usual gang is here. Panda's back. It's good to see you, man. Thank you very much. Jill Clinton, Cam mentioned you before. Got to take the kid to the doctor, but hope to catch the end of the stream. All right. Well, priorities. I'll take it. I've had kids that I've had to take to the doctor before too, so I get that. No problem. Very good. I'm way back in this YouTube chat, so I don't know what all we missed. But Joey K said hi to you. You saw that before, Cam, earlier. Scruffy Roosevelt's back. What's up, man? Good to see you. And Danielle K's back as well. How do I get a shirt How do I get t-shirt when I got game from Link? You just register for the t-shirt. Now, anybody who's doing Cranked collabs with us and who is claiming the Space Mesa t-shirt today, what you're doing is you're registering, you're claiming it. But we don't have customization in the game. We don't even have a real rider in the game yet. And we're only going to unveil, 98% of the bike today. So basically, we're doing a thing for early players, early sort of founding players is what I like to call you guys. Where we just give you something that later on will show that you were founding players. I mean, that's the gist of it, really. You guys will have something that because you were hanging out with us earlier, nobody can ever get again. So you can look at either the link in the bio on TikTok or the video notes on YouTube, and you will see the link and the code that you need to claim this shirt. I actually have an actual portal coming. I think it'll be ready for the third collab, where you'll be able to go on and see your entire collection, every shirt you've claimed. Looks a lot better than the Google form we use right now, but we're kind of still in the pilot stage of this whole thing. A few people have mentioned the drone you showed, Joe. Here in a little bit, let's talk about the drone and what the deal is with it. You want to do that real quick? Talk about the drone to answer those questions?
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Well, like I saw one question. I can't remember. It was one of our regular players, but I don't have it in front of me. Just saying, is it available?
Check out the course so you like can memorize. This is like basically like a course walk. Is that what it?
Yeah, it'll serve different purposes. Right now, it's very basic, and the controls are kind of wonky. We need to fix the controls to make them feel like actual drone controls, because right now they don't. And I used to be an FPV drone guy, so my muscle memory is like all over the place because it's not accurate. But a couple ideas with this is, yes, track walk, like, you know, you can just kind of do this kind of thing, scope out trails, look at all the little bumps and everything. The other thing is, it's nice to just get around the map. Like, you can see our map is absolutely massive with trails that, I mean, some of these trails are like 6, 7, 8 minutes long, top to bottom. So for now, before we have the chair lifts and all the other things that'll eventually be going in the game, we added this so you could just like fast travel places. Zach told me the higher you go, the faster the drone goes too. So if you want to get across the map, just kind of go up into the sky. But what we're hoping in the end, eventually, it'll probably be something that would come after 1.0, maybe, would be to have like a full-on FPV drone simulator built into the game. So let's say Cam and I hop in the game together, and Cam wants to go do some, how can I ride this section of trail 3 different ways in the video game? I can get behind him in the drone and like get some FPV footage flying behind him, and then we could like make an edit and post it up. So, you know, it'll be for fast travel and getting around, for scoping out trails, and also for filming your buddies FPV style. So that's kind of the hope here.
That's what's up. That's cool. All that rules.
One of the things about developing in public, which I say as I see somebody who made a comment on TikTok, one of the "it looks so bad" comments is, you know, when you release things, when you develop in public and you release things, you know, as you're working on them, you know, sometimes things are a little jank. Like this has a little bit of an element of jank to it, kind of like a regular bike. But just a heads up to anybody, we've only been on this game for about 5 months ago. You know, I think 5 months ago this game didn't exist at all. So super early. We're focusing on physics first. I think a game that doesn't have really great gameplay, you can kind of dress it up in all kinds of other awesome ways, but if it's not super fun to play, it doesn't really make much of sense, and just costs a bunch of money to make something that doesn't have a whole lot of staying power. So we're trying to focus on the actual core gameplay, make sure it's awesome. Here shortly, we're going to unveil what we have of the Frameworks bike. Joe, would you say it's like 98% done? Maggie didn't quite get across the finish line, but it's close enough, and we're going to show what we have. Is that the plan today?
Should we show right now?
Yeah, let's do it. You guys ready for the Frameworks drop? This is the first real art that demonstrates what you can kind of look for in the game. Wow, it's the first time I've seen it, by the way. Cam, did you see it earlier in Discord when we were talking, or is this the first time you've seen it?
Quick glimpse when we were trying to get the cameras going, but that was right. Peter, I got to look. Yeah, it looks sick. Dude,
it's so sick. This is the first time you're kind of seeing like what we're going for the visuals of the game. So the only thing I'll ask you all, especially if you're new and all you're seeing is kind of what we're showing on the screen, use a little imagination on the graphics side, because we just haven't touched them yet. Like, this is the first you're seeing what we're going for as far as the look of the game is concerned. Also, big thanks to Frank for sharing the live on TikTok. Super helpful when you guys share the live like that. It's a way that helps us grow and get the word out. So really appreciate that. And also to everybody else on TikTok who's followed us recently. See a bunch of names on here of people who followed us, and really appreciate you guys, you know, deciding to check out what we're doing and sticking with us a little bit, seeing if we compel you to try our game eventually. So thank you very much.
So yeah, there it is. That's a work in progress still. Poor Maggie's been having issues with her computer, and it's been crashing on her, and we did order a new one for her, but it hasn't been delivered yet. It's supposed to be next week. So it's been a lot of technical issues, which has been delaying this. And also the fact that, you know, we want to get it right and we want to make it look great. It's going to be the main bike in the game for a long time. So, you know, it's worth spending extra time on it now to really polish it and make it extra special. So still a work in progress, but it's definitely come a long way since the last time you guys saw it. And hopefully next week, you guys will get a build. I know I keep saying that every week, but, you know, next week will probably be the week, guys. You know, maybe, probably.
Yeah.
Hopefully. You guys got to get Nico and Asa or something on one of these streams, too, at some point.
Yeah.
Would be insane.
Yeah, we've talked about that. We'd like to. You know, the invite, it's an open invite, certainly. We haven't actually planned something with them yet, but we should do that, definitely.
Turns out they might be a little busy. Like, today, they're probably a little bit busy. Tomorrow, they're probably a little bit busy. Did you see that clip on Instagram? I saw it right before we went on, of Asa flipping this jump at the Lenzerheide track. And he says he wants to flip it in qualifying, which is cool.
That's insane.
Nice. Yeah, big thanks to Willie and Frank and Kyle and Bugged Out Films. All you guys for following us over there. Ed and Dot, you guys are awesome. We appreciate the follows big time. That's for sure. Some more on YouTube real quick to go through and get through a few more comments, so we are not ignoring people. Space Mesa meetup in game. That's the with when we have multiplayer and we can ride together in the game. We need to get the Space Mesa crew together and do a ride there. That'd be cool. By the way,
I would love to do stuff like that in real life. So we'll try it out virtually with the game first. Life after that, once test run it in the virtual world.
Also, sometimes video games have music in them. You never know.
Yeah, boy.
What might happen there?
That would be awesome.
Or you know what I'm thinking is we have like a cranked release party when the game comes out, like a year or two from now, and your band plays, and we have a group trail ride together. Dude, we could.
Now we're really talking.
You know?
That's what's up.
I kind of
Sign
want
me
to
up for that,
do
for sure.
what my hope is, and this is us just talking in the open. Things will change probably, but my hope is that we can launch this game on what they call early access next year at Crankworks. So I'd love to go to Crankworks, like set up a booth at the convention, have the game on display, let people play it, and like kind of that be like the launch.
Joe, I'm ready to commit. I'm ready to commit that we're going there no matter what, whether that's ready to go or not. I'll make the commitment right here, right now, live. Can't go back on it.
Cam, will you be there next year?
Yeah. Oh yeah, buddy. I will.
Nice.
You know, I haven't missed one since 2003, so I'm not going to start missing them now.
That was like me at High Point, the High Point motocross. I think I went like 25 years in a row or something without ever missing one. It's crazy.
Yeah. There's 1 year that I had broken my femur right before, and it would have made a lot of sense to stay on the comfy couch at home, but I'm like, I'm going to be there. And so I was there.
Dedication.
I was there watching.
Oh yeah, and
Cam,
for those of you who just joining us, this is the Space Mesa Cranked Collab shirt. You got 72 hours from now. Claim this bad boy. Link in TikTok description or bio on the link tree, and also in the YouTube live stream. It's in the pinned comment, and I think it's in the description.
One of the things I do with this shirt is I kind of like I look out for the people I know are going to want it but might not be paying attention. I sent a thing to my son last week and was like, "Hey, dude, don't forget to claim this Rad Dog shirt, the first one, because I'm not giving it to you later. So claim it now." Even my older brother Rob, who's standing beside me right now, he hasn't, he just saw this game for the first time last night and hasn't played it yet. And I was like, I don't know if you ever get into it, but I think you should sign up for this shirt just so you'll have it if you do. So keep that in mind. If there's anybody a little looking out's a good idea, because it's only until Sunday at 3:00 Eastern time that you can claim it.
And you know what? You've got plenty of space in your virtual closet.
Unlimited, actually.
Unlimited.
Yeah. See?
Plus, I think it's going to be a little bit of pain when the portal's up and you're looking at all the past shirts and you start claiming every single one each time that one is released, but you don't have those first couple because you just didn't have the opportunity. I kind of hate that, but also it's what makes it cool, that exclusivity. So it's just kind of how it is.
Somebody's free riding right now.
Yeah, I like to just do that till I eat it.
Did you answer this question, Cam, from Adam Morgan already? What was your favorite mountain bike segment you filmed in your career? Best times with the crew? I don't think you answered that one yet, did you?
Get to that one because I was definitely brainstorming that when I read it, and it might just be because it's fresh right now because there's been a lot of throwback clips on Instagram from this segment or this film recently, but it was the anthill film Unreal. That one was super
I remember that.
fun / ambitious, and I think like when you're over ambitious and things are just too much at the time, you then reflect on them and you remember them as fun, like there was some crazy stuff that happened on that film, and I can't believe that we pulled it all off. I think I was able to be in like, I don't know, definitely 2, maybe 3 of the segments, but they all had really crazy concepts. The whole film was based around the idea that it was taking place in an unreal world. And one of the segments we did was on a glacier. One of the segments we did was on a horse ranch in Wyoming, and we were meant to be riding with horses, and that proved to be way more dangerous than we had initially thought. Like our director got run over by a horse and had to get helicoptered out.
Oh my
Face
God.
caved in. Brett Reeder got run over by a horse and had to leave because his bike was smashed and his body was not working well enough to ride anymore. And now you just watch the film and you just see all the highlights smashed together, and you're just like, oh my god, I can't believe we pulled all that off. And like the camaraderie of like being in the trenches together. I say trenches figuratively, but we actually were camping out on sure, not able to ride for multiple days because we were in weather. You know, we found our ways like underneath the glacier through like crazy waterways. We were just doing such weird stuff because we were in this weird predicament, and it actually felt like we're not living in the real world. We pranked the morning news with Sam Champion from the Weather Channel. And they told us that was fun, but never do that again. Like, we just all into the production of that film seems fake, and so that's my answer for that one.
I need to go rewatch that now that you told us all that backstory.
Yeah, it's almost one of those things now that we're like talking about. I'm like, man, we should do, now that it's probably been 10 years since we filmed that, we should do like a director's commentary with the crew and the cast, just sitting around like reminiscing over how crazy some of that stuff was. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, give it a rewatch. But thank you for that question as well. You definitely got me merging into memory lane without signaling on that one.
Hey, what's up, Mitz and Mocker? Good to see you in the chat again, man. I think you've been with us every live so far. Always happy to see you, Mitz.
I want to talk to you about, man, I cannot stay on the track today. Was one thing. But Cam, I'd like to talk to you about, about shrouping. Because we actually have a shroup mechanic in the game. First of all, what do you guys call it in real life if you're talking with your buddies? Do you call it a shroup or do you call it something else?
I mean, shroup is quite common. I would say like roost the berm, you know, like that's probably same as you'd say in moto, you guys.
Yeah. Because like, here's ours. I mean, it's a work in progress, but if on it's the opposite of a jump on the right stick. So jump is down and then up. But if you do up and then down, like here, I'll try to do it right here. It kind of like kicks it out a little bit.
Distant cousin of roost. You know, sometimes you say like just roast that thing.
Yeah.
I think sometimes also then you go into the mode of like imitating that guy from that legendary news interview with the surfer where he just goes like way too bro style and he's talking about get up, crack the whip, whoop-ah.
Yeah.
Sometimes whoop-ah, you know, you might have to go there with it.
Do you think, because we're working on like the physics of it and stuff, and right now it does slow you down, you think we should keep it that way? Because earlier you mentioned, you know, you use it to slow yourself down for that upcoming jump, you were having too much speed. So do you think keeping it to where you do lose a little speed is the way we should be? Or what do you think?
I think you have to lose speed if you're doing it, right? Like when you're riding, all right, I want to like get some just because this is going to be fun, and like, you know, give your buddies who are riding the trail behind you something to talk about when you're back at the parking lot or cracking a beer later or whatever. You gotta like just roost off the top of it, but you know it comes at a price. Like you're not going to be going as fast in the next section as you would if you rode that thing with efficiency. So to be true to reality, I think you have to lose a little speed if you're gonna drop the berm.
Nice. So maybe the way we have it, we'll keep it. I think once we get third-person camera and all that, we're gonna like revisit it, because I think it'll be easier to tweak it and adjust it once you can actually see what's happening. And then, you know, we got to get the visuals down where you're like, you actually have a roost and it sprays up and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm also noticing, like, obviously you can't see the body of the rider yet, as you mentioned, that's coming, but you can kind of tell that he does like a little bit of like a counter steer thing, you know, like that feels so good. Like if you're coming off the lip, it's hip to the left, and you see that there's a left-hand berm coming, you kind of like you would in moto, you kind of like get the bike kicked out the wrong way and your body's leaning off the side, so that once you land, you're all wound up and you can just wrap it into a big whammo. And it looks like the rider's kind of already doing that a little bit, which is cool. Yeah, like that. Like Cornflakes. You guys follow that guy, Cornflakes Future?
Oh, I don't know if I do.
Dude, you're really good about... You're so good at giving props and shining light on other people. Really, man. It's really cool how you do that.
Well, check him out. His name's Cornflakes Future on Instagram. His real name is Alessio Tonoli. And I don't know, he's just got like the best riding style ever. My two favorite people to watch ride right now are this guy, Cornflakes Future. He's French. Am I there? Yeah. But like, I don't know, the new age riders are doing a lot more, like the like the turn up lean and stuff like that you see like Tyler Bierman doing so well and everything. And I'll see young kids at the bike park who do that and they don't know any better, right? They're not like, oh, people don't do that on mountain bikes. It's impossible. So they just emulate it. And I think like new things are popular in terms of whips on mountain bikes because young kids just watch moto and they have no prefrontal cortex to tell them that, oh, this hasn't been done, therefore it's awesome. But okay, my other favorite rider to watch these days is he's Swedish, Simon Johansson. Here he is. He is just so fun to watch ride. And like, yeah, when you guys are modeling ride mechanics after people, it's like, all right, cornflakes, Simon Johansson, I never know what to say with that one. And then like, yeah, Jackson. Like in Jackson's winning runs right now, like some of his like body mechanics look so free ride, obviously because of his background, he's done it all, but you're like, how can you be having that much fun and also being that efficient enough to where you're beating everybody else on a World Cup race course? Like, I don't know, people ride differently right now, and you're at a time when all this stuff seems to just be like changing over at the pace of AI. You can like make the riders look like the best riders in the world. Put some of those little ping pong sensors on those mofos.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You know, we've come to an important moment of this live stream right now where we're going to have, for the first time, answer a question that we have been asked very, very many times. And the question is how are we different than Descenders? It's a fair question. You know, we have placeholder graphics in the game, and if you've just bumped in and you haven't really spent any time watching our physics, etc., you know, I can understand why people ask this question. So, Joe, I'm going to let you answer it this time. How's Crank different than Descenders? How's Crank different than, you know, all the other games on the market in your view? What do you think?
Yeah, you know, I've obviously played all the games, and I've been a big fan of all the mountain bike games for many years. But that was kind of why we wanted to make Crank, just because I wasn't super happy with how they felt. They didn't feel like the way I feel when I'm out riding my bike. Descenders specifically, I think, feels a little too slippery for my taste. Let's just launch this berm, because why not? But I think one big difference between us and Descenders is about survival. Like Descender, even their career mode, it's like you have X amount of lives, and you know, how far can you make it before you're out of lives. Where our game's not like that. It's more about you know, dialing in your lines. It's about racing. It shouldn't be that hard to just make it top to bottom. What should be hard is actually like being fast, getting a top leaderboard time, you know, nailing your lines and like putting together, you know, your dream run. That's what should be hard, not just the, you know, the basics of riding. So to answer your question, it feels completely different. We hope to have a free demo soon, and then I'll tell you, just go try it out and see how you feel about it yourself. But yeah, our meta, our core loop, all that stuff's going to be different. Yeah, I mean...
Hey, Joe, I want to expand on this in a way I've never expanded on this question before, but it's obvious, and it just dawned on me for a reason that will soon be obvious, and that is, you know, I come from professional motocross racing. I was in that world for decades, and have basically, ever since I started working professionally, I've been in motocross one way or the other. And when we made the Mad Skills games, the way we did that is we kind of rooted them in the center of the real sport. That, you know, that's where I came from. It's what I knew. So that's kind of how we built it. And we always existed in one way or the other within that sport. I don't think you'd find too many people who have ever thrown a leg over a dirt bike who don't know what Mad Skills motocross is. You know, I was talking to Cam and Dusty for the first time, and I was like, did you guys play the Mad Skills game? And like everybody I've ever met who really come from action sports, the answer is always yes. We're doing the same thing here. You know, we've got Cam McCaul on our live stream right now. And I don't know, maybe Descenders has done this type of a thing too. I don't know, because I wasn't really focusing on that space when they were sort of ramping things up. But I think... obviously, Mavericks is rooted in reality as well. Matt Jones is a big part of that, so of course that is too. But is Descenders that way, Joe? Does Descenders do things with people who are interested in the sport and focus on the sport and sort of make that like, you know, who they're making the game for? Because that's what we're doing. We're trying to make the games for people like Cam and you guys listening who ride and race will like it. And if we do that, we think everybody else will like it too. What do you think, Joe? Is that how Descenders does it or no?
I don't know, honestly. I haven't followed. I mean, you know, I play Descenders, whatever, but I haven't really followed like their production or their background, or, you know, I don't know.
Maybe let us know in the comments if you guys have played Descenders. Let us know if they made efforts to to root themselves in the actual sport and to kind of grow it based on what the community in the sport wants, because that's kind of what our approach is. So I think maybe that's a way we're different than Descenders too, potentially.
Yeah.
Cool. Can we do third person? Third person's coming later. We started with first person because the bike and the rider don't look good. It's all the graphics that you guys see right now are placeholder. Just a little bit ago, we unveiled the first real graphics that we have made. They're about 98% of the way. Joe, when you get a break, let's show that Frameworks bike again. We partnered with Frameworks, which is another sign that we're connected to this sport and to the people in the sport and the grassroots of the sport and the heart of it. So we'll show that bike in a little bit. You get a better idea what this is going to look like and what our first real bike model is going to look like. We will do that soon.
Let me finish this run and then
cool. While you finish it, let me ask Cam a question that Nick Mitzenmacher threw out to us. He wanted to know who your favorite is for Rampage.
Oh man, I'm so excited to see some of the first timers, some of the rookies. Finley Kirschenman, like one of my favorite riders right now. And then Aiden Parrish, who is the guy who you may have seen on Instagram doing a cliffhanger over the Icon Sender. Like, those guys are on another level, and they've never had an opportunity to be in Rampage yet. And now's the time. There's only a limited amount of people who can be on the invite list to Rampage. And, there's some automatic invites that are based on the previous year's results. And so there's been a couple riders who have just decided, you know what, this year I'm not going to do Rampage. And it's opened up more spots for more rookies. And now in 2025, more than any other year in the history of this sport, there's such a deep talent pool of riders who have dedicated their life to pursuing this sport. You know, they're living in Hurricane, Utah. They're living the free ride lifestyle, trying to progress and get better every day with the dreams of hopefully someday being in Red Bull Rampage. And now a lot of those riders are actually going to be doing it. And in the women's field, Janelle Sukup, huge fan of her. She's super young out of Colorado. I think she's still like 18 or something, but she's going to grow with this sport. She's going to be one of the, the most prominent faces of women's free ride. She's getting her first being in Rampage as well. And so the list goes on and on, but those are a couple that come to mind right away.
Right on. Very cool.
There's the Frameworks bike for everyone.
There it is.
The work in progress Frameworks bike by Maggie, our artist, who's doing a great job on it.
I think we got mixed wheels on there too, yeah?
It should be a mullet, I think, right? Isn't it a mullet in real life?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's mixed wheels. Ooh, Adam Morgan says Aiden is a savage. You know what's up, Adam.
Do you what do you ride, Cam, on like typical day? I know you're trek rider, but is yours mixed wheel size or no?
Yeah. I say all my bikes, and then I think about all the ones that aren't. But all my main bikes, the ones that I ride the most.
Nice.
My Fuel EX. I haven't put together a Gen 7 one yet because they just came out with a new Fuel EX, which is pretty rad too because it's very modular. Like, you can run a variety of different links and shock sizes and wheel configurations depending on what type of riding you want to do, which is funny. That's what the Gen 7 does because that's kind of what I've been doing with my 6 anyways. And so I run mixed wheel for everyday trail riding. Then if I'm just going to go do just straight up jumping, which I think tomorrow I'm going to go Sturge's yard. And he's got a big roll into a set of jumps and like a full free ride compound. So I'm going to do that. Then I switch my Fuel EX into a different mode. I take the big wheel off the front, put a 27.5 in, level it out a little bit. I take my dropper post out, and I add a crank friction device so I could do feet tricks easier and stuff like that. So like if I'm doing a very like specific type of like free ride riding, I sometimes go 27.5 front and rear. Ooh, those like satellite dish rhythms are sick.
Yeah, they're fun.
But for regular trail riding, yeah, like my Slash is mixed wheels, my Slash Plus is mixed wheels. I love the big wheel up front and then the dancing little wheel in the back.
That's what I roll too. I got a Santa Cruz Bronson.
There's this guy who used to work for Fox Suspension forever, Mike Van Linden. My dad had known him from back in the 70s because they were both into motorcycles. Yeah, I met Mike through the fact that he was working at Fox Suspension in Watsonville, which is 15 minutes away from Aptos, where I grew up. But this is like early in my mountain biking days, probably like 20 years ago, and getting some suspension worked on there. And Mike was like, listen, I don't know what the specific numbers will be, but I can guarantee you, because I've seen this story before, I know how it ends. He's like, when the mountain bike industry is done with all experimentation, there will be a big wheel up front and a little wheel back in the back. I've seen it all before in moto. Mark my words, that's going to happen in mountain biking.
Called it.
It's such a standard. Like the 29 and 27.5 is just so standard. It just works so well.
Hey, Joe, you want to answer a question? We have a question from Max on TikTok who asked how many maps. Makes me think it's a good opportunity to answer the question, what you have in mind for maps. And why don't we kind of tack onto that your thoughts about modding and your thoughts about, and whatever let me just ask you a question when on heater. That's a good idea. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Maps, what we have planned for maps, your thoughts on modding, your thoughts on an actual track building tool.
Yeah. So our plan for map is to have one big open world map to start. So this is what we're working on right now. This one will be like forest vibes, and it's basically going to simulate like a bike, bike park, real world bike park type deal. And we hope to have around 40 trails, give or take. We'll see how many we can squeeze in here. As you can see, we've already got a ton. You can see all the way from the top way up there, starts coming down, starts branching off. We got one that way. We got ones in the middle. There's a bunch of trails coming up over there. So we've already got, I don't know, half a dozen or so trails, but there'll be many more. There'll be probably like 6 chair lifts, a bike shop at the bottom. And this will be the first map. So when the game launches, this will be the main map. And then our hope is that, the game's successful and we've got enough money to put more maps into the game. And each map, we want it to be like a new big bike park. So we think the second one, we're debating between either desert, like a Rampage kind of vibe area, or like a like a tropical / favela urban downhill type vibe, where like maybe half of it's like a tropical landscape and then half of it's like urban. We could do like some urban downhill stuff, which I think would be sick. And then in terms of modding, we will have modding right off the bat. So we're working on that. Probably in the next few months, we'll start working on modding so that you guys can create your own environments. For now, modding will probably be, in the beginning, it'll be about making new maps and levels. We'll see if we can do it for bikes and gear and all that. I don't know. We've got to figure out some technical stuff there. And then in-game level editor, that's our dream, that someday what we could do is like release just like a mountain environment with no trails on it, and it's up to like the community to get in there with shovels and tools and whatever and kind of carve their own trails out of it. We think that would be super fun. And I haven't really seen another game do like a real trail building thing kind of in that style. If it's out there, let me know so I could take a look at it. But that's the hope. Yeah. What's up, Jack? I see Jack Hefe saying, what up, Joe?
Hey, Viga. Viga's here, too. We hang out with Viga in the Discord sometimes. By the way, if anybody hangs out on the Discord, it's pretty common. Usually Joe, sometimes both of us, sometimes others hop in one of the live rooms and just hang out and play and chill and have a good time. So, by all means, come on over and hang out if you feel like it. I see somebody says, what's up, Joe's mama? Or Joe Mama, but that does make me wonder if Joe's actual mama, Karen, is in the YouTube chat. Last week, you were like lurking there the whole time. I didn't even know you were there. We're checking out, and all of a sudden, Karen's like, "See you guys." I would have done a call out if I'd known you were here.
I think she was traveling to Chicago today to go see Susto, and she said
she's going to Chicago. All right,
so she'll be watching later. So shout out to my mom. What's up, Mom?
Hey, Cam, you know that band Susto? S-U-S-T-O.
How's it spelled?
S-U-S-T-O.
I don't think so.
Super good. If you're into like, what would you call them, Brian? I don't know. Southern rock. They call themselves
Americana, Southern rock style thing. Yeah,
they're good though. You should check them out.
Perfect. I mean, there's nothing better than being turned on to a new music artist. So I'm already on his Spotify. Gonna check it out.
You're good. They're very good. Joe's mom. We just had a party for Joe's mom when she had a birthday recently. I won't say which one. Recently, and they hired Suso to play a private party. We went down to my girlfriend and I flew down to Florida to hang out with.
That's awesome. If you were to say like first introduction to Susto, which album would be the best?
Dang it!
I'll let Joe answer that one.
I would just check out their latest one. Their latest one's amazing.
Okay, cool, easy.
All
Let's
of them
segue
are
that
good.
into some of the bands, Cam, that you're into. Like, who are some of the bands you like the most now? Who are some of the bands that kind of got your attention the most when you were a kid? Like, walk us through some of the things that have influenced you to become Space Mason and what you guys are doing in the band now.
Yeah, cool. I think that my foundational building blocks of bands that helped me realize that I love music. Started with the Beatles. Love the Beatles. Um, uh, Nirvana. Born in '86, so like right in that little window, my cousin was always listening to that stuff. This, and then that leads you into Foo Fighters. That leads you into Queens of the Stone Age. I skip Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath comes right after Beatles. So Beatles, Black Sabbath, Nirvana, Foo Fighters, Queens of the Stone Age. That's kind of like all my building blocks of the things that like made me realize I love rock and roll music. And then more recently, it's like I discovered like the realm of Ty Segall and all the bands that you're introduced to when you go into that world. And so that's like stuff like Michael Cronin, the band Fuzz, Meat Bodies, White Fence, there's King Tut. There's so many bands that you get introduced to when you just start listening to Ty Segall. And then, funny enough, Michael Cronin, who's an amazing artist, just in his own right, in his individual career, a lot of people know him as like the bass player in majority of the iterations of Ty Segall's touring bands. He's actually a mountain biker. He loves it.
Nice.
We discovered that we're both following each other on Instagram. I'm following him for his music, mountain bike stuff.
Nice.
And so we kind of communicate on Instagram on a regular basis. Like yesterday, I was at a food truck lot here in Bend, and they were playing one of his songs, and I was like, heard it. No way. So I texted him, or I wrote him on Instagram, let him know that was playing, and I opened up Instagram to write him, and one of his stories was up, and he was like carving his own free ride line, like off trail down like a sketchy chute that like ends in a neighborhood. Like he's started a separate Instagram account just for his mountain bike POVs and stuff like that. But it's kind of cool to like, have a musician that I really like listening to and discover that they're a mountain biker. And yeah, that's kind of the rundown of my like foundational bands.
Cool.
But I love lots of stuff, and I'm constantly like, if you were to just look at like the last few bands that I was listening to, it kind of like spreads the gamut. Like this guy that we were recording with the other day, the guy who owns the studio, he's a huge Bob Dylan fan, and like I like Bob Dylan, but I haven't dug deep, so I've been digging deep into
Yeah, I like
Bob Dylan. Just
I can help
like,
you there.
again, like, yeah, and then I heard that Steve Lacy had recorded his first EP on a iPhone, so I'm like, I have to listen to that. I was digging into All Things Must Pass, the George Harrison album. Then Tame Impala has 2 new songs coming out.
Yeah.
That
Tame
I like all
Impala?
the- Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how often Joe gets asked about being Tame Impala because they look identical? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Dude,
He said
they-
people come up to him thinking he's Tame Impala before.
Like
Joe's
recently,
got a big Kevin Parker thing going on right now from this camera angle. Sure.
this kid in the mall came up to me. I was sitting there eating pizza with my wife, and he comes up and he's like, "Are you Tame Impala? Dude, I love your stuff." And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Well, I really love your music, but," and I'm like, "Well, I'm not." And he's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure I'm not."
He's like, "Can you just for me pretend that you are, please?"
Yeah, seriously. And then I had some girls at Home Depot working there, and I go through the register, and she's like, "Oh my God, do you know who you look like?" And she's like freaking out. And then I go in there a month later, and she does the same thing. She's like, "Oh my God," and I'm like, "Yeah, you told me this a month ago."
You're like, "Do you know who you remind me of? Dory from Finding Nemo."
Is there anybody you've ever gotten that with, Cam? Anybody think you're somebody else?
Ah, man.
You remind me
I
of
guess
someone,
it-
but I can't put my finger on it. I don't know.
Ooh, fun. I can't wait to find out once your finger figures itself out. There's one. There's 2 I'm trying to remember. Okay, there's 2 that I've gotten that have like happened more than once, so I guess I should probably cite them. What's the guy's name? He was like Donnie Darko. Um, I can't think of this guy's name. Who played Donnie Darko? Somebody told me
Gyllenhaal.
that guy. Yes, that guy. And then I had it's only when my hair is short. I've had a couple times the guy from Maroon 5,
Oh
which is
yeah.
funny. 'Cause
Adam
Dusty, yes, Adam Levine.
Levine.
Dusty has like a Maroon 5 signed guitar from like a charity benefit that he won in an auction
Nice.
in the music room. But those are the two that I've got. Brian, you're the only one who is somehow sneaking out of this one unscathed. Who have you gotten?
Yeah.
As far as just the music I like.
No,
who you look like.
Doppelganger.
Oh, Doppelganger. Valentino Rossi before, which I consider to be a huge compliment just because he's one of the greatest dudes who ever threw a leg over any kind of motorcycle. I watched him with Robbie Madison. You know Robbie Madison? You probably know Robbie, don't you, Cam?
Yeah. Yep.
He and I saw Valentino Rossi and his wife Amy. I think she was his girlfriend at the time. Saw Valentino win the Aston TT one year with Jordan Baker from Red Bull. You might know Jordan too. I don't know. That was an awesome time. One of the highlights of my motorcycle watching career, and I've seen very, very many motorcycle races in my life. So I've gotten that, and I've got Steve Nash, the NBA player, before. That's it. Those two.
No, I can see that one. Yeah.
Yep. I got
When
those two.
when Brian wears his glasses and he has his hair longer and kind of spiky, I get a Mark Hoppus vibe too.
No, I'll take it. That's all
Yeah,
right.
the Blink-182 guy, right?
Yeah.
None of those bother me. It's all good.
So now you guys being in the video game world, we need to start a cartoon tribute band, or it's got all those people we just said all in it.
There you go.
It's got it's got Adam Levine, it's got Mark Hoppus, and it's got Kevin Parker in it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that, man.
Make an AI band out of those.
But Valentino Rossi playing the cowbell.
Hey, when it comes to Bob Dylan, I wanted to throw this out, Kim, since you're just starting to explore. I've been a huge Bob Dylan fan for a long time, and I think he's not known for having a great voice, obviously. A lot of people don't like his voice, just think he can't sing or whatever, but I think his voice was at its absolute sweetest in a recording he did of a song called Moonshiner, which was on his bootleg box set. It's a traditional song. He didn't write it, but he was really young. It was from the 60s. It's called Moonshiner. I suggest you check out that song. It's gorgeous. Awesome vocal. The best vocal I've ever heard out of Bob Dylan, in my opinion.
That's amazing. How about the fact that like it's that easy? Like I just added it to my library. I can listen
that's
to it
great.
next time I hop on the truck to drive across town. Like that's the best thing ever. The fact that every single piece of recorded music, for the most part, is right at our fingertips. All we got to do is just tap our thumbs in the right place. So sick.
Hey, good call, Joe. Let's talk about Cranked Collabs again. It's good to drop this a few times. So the reason Cam is on the show with us is because we're buds and he wanted to hang out with us. But the side reason why Cam is on the show with us is because we did Cranked Collabs 002, the second Cranked collab we've done with Cam's band Space Mesa. And what this means is we've created this in-game t-shirt about his band. Cam, you hand drew the logo on the front in the back, but not the Space Monkey. Is that right?
Yeah, so our buddy here, Bryce, we know him because he's a rider. He runs a sticker shop. Like they print like not just stickers, like they'll print like huge billboards for companies and stuff like that. I was just trying to get him to make some stickers with that cursive logo, and he made the astronaut in there, and I was like, oh, that's so great. Can you put a monkey's face inside the astronaut's helmet? And so he did that. So that's all Jensen, and kind of liked it. So like thought that would be a kind of a cool one for a shirt.
Yeah, I like monkeys. I don't know if anybody's ever met Baby Monkey before, but he's I hesitate to call him a possession because possession might be the right word for this monkey. Maybe not the kind that implies ownership, but I was intending to come down here to North Carolina. I about forgot to bring Baby Monkey. He showed up on all these live streams somehow. But then as I was walking out the door, this broom fell and it almost tripped me, and I looked up and he was smiling at me maniacally, and I realized, all right, better bring him. So Baby Monkey's here with me today, as always. But then I saw your shirt basically has a monkey on the back. I thought that was it was sweet justice. It was perfect.
We got a monkey thing going on. I love
we got
it.
a monkey thing going on.
I'm not gonna press any further to find out if the broomstick actually fell. I want to just leave it at that because I want to believe that really.
Plus, it's best not to get me going on this. Trust me, it's best.
It's like, did you ever watch the show that Ozzy Osbourne and Jack Osbourne did, where they would go and like to a country? They went and they checked out the museum that had the doll Robert who was possessed, and then they got like a souvenir version. Stuff that happened in that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Kind of a similar thing. But I want one more thing about monkeys. There is a tie-in between the name for the band Space Mesa and monkeys, and if people are on here and they can figure it out, that's awesome. But I'm gonna leave it at that. People might figure it out.
Huh.
Interesting. Okay, I wouldn't have thought that.
Some people
I guess that also eliminates the whole "How did you guys come up with Space Mesa?" question that I was going to ask you. Probably should not do that, or I would kind of give away the quiz answer here. So I'll leave that alone for now.
We'll hold on to that one and let it be a quiz for people who figure it out.
Let me do a quick rundown, guys. There's some comments here so I can catch this up here. Game's looking amazing, Havoc says, since the last time. Last time I've seen you guys playing this. Thanks, man. We ship a lot of updates here. We really do. We have a small team, but we're focused. We're doing one thing at a time. We're not trying to spread ourselves out too much. It makes it hard sometimes to make it to where you feel like you're progressing if you're trying to do too many things. So we focus on small things. We hope the right things, and we ship a lot. Sometimes, if you follow us on Patreon, you're getting new updates. We call them builds, also updates on a weekly basis even. And normally when we update them, there's something of significance in there. So I'm glad to hear that it's looking better. Wait till we get the bike in and we start doing the art, the rest of the art, and get rid of this placeholder stuff. You really start to see a difference. But thank you for noticing that and for bringing it up. That's cool. Oh, Tails wants to know if it's the name of the monkey who was sent into space.
Oh, it's not, but I got to research that. It does have something to do testing things that involve monkeys.
Oh, okay.
It's involved with mountain biking in a certain way.
Okay. Yeah, Jari Freerider, this is indeed Cam McCaul hanging out with us today. And thank you for hanging out with us today on TikTok. I'm going to do a quick rundown of TikTok. Just to say, hey, I want to say Grim Reaper, thanks for joining us over there, and Morris for following us. Really appreciate that. And good to see you here as well, Havoc. MJ wants to know how much it's going to cost when it comes out fully. We don't know. It's still a ways away, and we just kind of have a policy not to guess about things. We're not sure, so if we don't know, we just say we don't know. It's going to be reasonable, though, and our goal is to bring value for sure. We always want to make sure that if somebody gets our game, they feel like they got more than they gave for it. That's what we're going for. So, and then Tubby asked us a question about what we always get is what the game has that other games don't have. Let me see if you're still here, Tubby. If so, I'll answer it. If not, no, Tubby's gone. So I think we can skip that one because we answer it all the time. Go ahead, Cam.
Somebody suggested that the monkey finds its way hidden into a track at some point. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think Baby Monkey needs to become part of this game.
Is that the monkey's name? Is it Baby Monkey, or is that?
Yeah.
Does it have a name?
It's Baby Monkey. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, he's. I think Baby Monkey was made in the 1940s. He's been around the block. But he's a good sort, man. It's temperamental sometimes, I guess, is a fair way to put it. But he's a good sort.
How long have you had this individual, and how did you acquire? How did he end up in a situation where he allowed you to live with him?
Cam, I just want to start this by saying the moment I met you, I liked you. I told Joe this, what a cool guy you are and how cool it was getting to know you. But the fact that you were so inquisitive about Baby Monkey, it's making you rise in my esteem even further, let me tell you. Now, Baby Monkey was my ex-wife's mom's doll when she was a little girl. And so
yeah, there's layers to this.
Yeah, so Lynn had Baby Monkey she's the one who named him Baby Monkey, I guess, when she was a little girl. So he's been Baby Monkey for 60 some years, maybe something like that. Anyway, he was just the first time I saw Baby Monkey, I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, and he's kind of been mine ever since. He needed some repair. I had an office manager one time who saw him, and he was a little worse for the wear at the time. And I came in one day, and there was a sign on the wall that was like a ransom note about Baby Monkey. And then I came in the next day and he had been all sewed up and fixed up, and there was like a medical note talking about like a discharge papers with him, and he's in much better shape now. So she did me a big solid there. But that's the story of Baby Monk. I mean, it's just this really bizarre. Most people think he's super creepy looking, really, really old, but I don't know. I just kind of have fun with it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the backstory. Now I know.
You got it, dude. You got it. All right, let's see. Does it have anything to do with the Flying Monkey mountain bike trail? Joey Cobber wants to know. Oh,
Nice
Joey K nailed it?
Nice work. He's got it all figured out.
Nice.
He seems to actually have it all figured out. That's true. Oh my God. Aaron said Baby Monkey is cursed, but with steez. That's the best thing I've ever heard.
It's,
Fantastic.
some creatures are just cursed with steeds. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, man. Yep, that's it. Yeah, Jari, this is Cam. You have any questions? He's answering questions anytime we get a good question for him. Cam's being super cool about it all. So if anyone has questions for Cam, you got a chance to throw it out. Well, what's the first time, like, how did you pick up an instrument for the first time, and what did you start with? And also, I think you're a multi-instrumentalist, if I'm not mistaken. So tell me a little bit about your process of learning music and getting into it, and how you kind of work that in with building the kind of skill you build on a bike.
Yeah, there was a guitar in the house that was not tuned, and when I was a kid, I would play it like left-handed because I didn't know that there was any rules,
Yeah.
And then next door neighbor kid, he's my brother's age, he got an electric guitar, and we were over at his house. And I was like, what in the world? Like, let me try it. And he's like, yeah, you should hold it like this first step. And then he taught me like a chord, and then I was back over the next day, teach me another chord, back the next day, teach me another chord. So I learned like, just the whatever basic open position chords, just like, your E's, your A's, your working to getting your G's and your C's and your D's, and loved it so much. And it was actually the same time as I was discovering mountain biking. So they both kind of happened at the same time. There's found these two things where I'm like, oh wow, like all the things that I've ever tried, it seemed like I go nowhere with them. Like skateboarding, I could do just enough, but I'm like, wow, don't feel like this is, really progressing at a rate that is going to get me anywhere anytime soon. I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy these two things. So these two things I liked more, and probably liking something is what makes you get better at them, because then you dedicate time to it because it's what you want to do. So then I did end up taking some lessons junior high, maybe into high school a little bit, and learned a lot more through that, like learned bar chords and stuff like that. And then you learn just enough to be able to start ADDing out off of the songs that you're supposed to be learning into making your own things. And then got really interested in drums, just because I was like, wow, who doesn't like beating on things? And like, what if I could like make something on guitar and then come up with a drum part for it? And then once you get that far, you're like, well, I know how to like put my finger on frets and make root notes. And so I had, and then you start like letting those root notes breathe a little bit and coming up with like big melodies and stuff. And next thing you know, you're like, I need some sort of device that I can plug things into, and more obsessed with like the process of recording, and acquired a bunch of different little devices that can facilitate recording. But like, yeah, this is all going in parallel with biking, and like I obviously dedicated my life to biking, so that would take up so much time. Right out of high school, I was traveling for competitions, traveling for like bike film shoots and stuff like that. So I always just try to bring a guitar along with me, but never really was able to dedicate too much time to it until later. And that was kind of like, the last like maybe 10 years or so, is like just like little by little piecing together the rudimentary skills that you can build up in all the different instruments. Like, I don't have any aspirations to be virtuosic in any instrument, but I love the puzzle of coming up with your own idea and piecing together the elements with the small amount of skills you have in each, just enough to be able to something with.
Nice. How about piano? Have you played any piano?
Yeah, for sure. And that's, I think, like, I really like piano because, it's kind of intuitive because all the notes are laid
Yep.
out in a,
Yep.
you know, in an order that makes sense. But also, you know, I don't have like a background of like my neighbor teaching me anything or a background going to Ken Kraft's music lessons in Santa Cruz. You know, it's all just like it's all fresh and you maintain that level of curiosity. And like with guitar, after you've been playing for enough time, you just have the chord that you feel like your muscle memory wants to take you. But like with piano, if you're laying out like a chord progression, you have I have less muscle memory from that. So like I know how to make all my major, um, but my mind and the way that I hear the music going has no filter based on like rules with piano. So it's kind of fun to like if a song starts on guitar, I can go in and decide where it goes on piano without any strings attached. My
Nice.
favorite piano sound is just like a Fender Rhodes or a Wurlitzer, like electric piano sound. I'm obsessed with that sound. Um, and I think it'll find its way into Space Mesa recordings for sure, just because I hear it and I like it. Like there's the last song in the bike film Rome, like the Anthill film. No, the Anthill film Seasons. It's the last song. It's where we're all riding Whistler together. CP, Andrew Chandro, Matt Hunter, Bear Cloth, and we're all riding together at Whistler late season, like closing weekend, fall of like 2007. And the song that they chose for that just ends on this like amazing Fender Rhodes sound, nice like chord arpeggio with the right amount of tremolo. And I didn't know what that sound was for the longest time. I just keep trying to figure out what it was, but like I still love that sound.
That's cool, man. You're so good at this stuff, which leads me to a question I'm going to ask you guys in just a little bit. I'm going to ask you the question now so you can take a minute to think about it. But Joe introduced a thing a little while ago where we would bring a question to the stream and each of us on the stream had to answer it, but so did the questioner. So that way you're not trying to like railroad your buddies or whatever. So I have a question that I'm going to pose in a little bit. And the three of us can answer that. But I also would like anybody in the chat with us to answer this question as well. And that is, what is something that you just suck at? Because Cam, you seem to be good at everything. I mean, as far as the things I've seen, but nobody's good at everything. So the question I have for the three of us and anyone else wants to answer it is, what do you suck at? That's going to be the question today.
Before you answer that, Ollie in TikTok's getting a little antsy here. We are reading chat, but we're also trying to hang out with Cam McCaul here, who's a legend. So, we're not on chat as much as usual, but if you subscribe and you end up spending $50 on Patreon, you will get a free Steam key for the full version of the game in the end. So if you did like the $5 a month thing for 10 months, you get a free Steam key. So there's that. But yeah, we'll get back to chat in a little bit, but let's
thank you for that, for finding that, Joe. Also, Oliver Sherlock, thank you for sharing the live on TikTok. When you guys share anything we do, it's just something that helps a small self-funded team like we are find new people and them to find us. So thank you so much for caring enough to hit that share button. I would like to just take a second to tell everybody that, Joe, when you get a chance, let's show the Space Mesa shirt again. Cam has set up a place that you can actually buy this real shirt. Support the band, buy the real shirt, have it in real life. It's available, and there's a link in the description of the YouTube live that we're doing right now. Joe, maybe eventually we can put that into the link from bio and TikTok as well, just to make it easy. And we're going to plaster it all over our Discord as well. So if anybody wants to get the real life shirt, it's the same graphic that we used in the game. Our amazing designer, Mike Fisher, helped these guys kind of get it ready to make it work really well on in the game and on this. Is it Printful or is it Printful that you did this, Cam?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. You can order it. They do global shipping, so it's easy. I've ordered a number of, I have this cranked hat I have on right now actually came from Printful. So I think they do a really good job. And, you can grab a shirt that is pretty exclusive and was made specifically for this purpose, support the band and just kind of have something cool.
Yeah. And it's just spacemesa.myshopify.com.
Yeah. Cool. And Quick question, V, for Vendetta. Is it going to be on Xbox? Yeah, the goal is for us to get this done right on PC first and then to move into consoles. That'll be our next priority. It's the plan, but we're super early in this process and we're just still kind of a ways away from that. But assuming the whole thing doesn't just fall apart and it doesn't work out, then yeah, our plan is to go to console eventually. I do think that that's going to happen. Certainly the plan.
I'll answer your question first, Brian.
Okay.
And it goes along with what Tails just said in YouTube chat, but I suck at team sports. Like when I was in middle school, I tried basketball, soccer, baseball, all that. Always put on the B team, always just terrible. And that's kind of when I found action sports. The dude, he became one of my best friends. He was actually really good at basketball, but he was like one of my best friend's older brother at the time was into skateboarding. And he was like, dude, you need to get a skateboard. And I'm like, that sport is so lame. Like, I don't want to do that. And he's like, watch this one video, and I promise you at the end you'll get a skateboard. And it was Rodney Mullen versus Daewon Song, like I think one of the first ones they came out with. And I watched that, and I was like, yeah, where do I get a skateboard? Ordered my first CCS mail order skateboard right after that. And then that's when I just took off in action sports, from skateboarding to snowboarding, then BMX, mountain biking, skydiving, rock climbing now. So yeah, I sucked at team sports, but it was all good because now, without me sucking at team sports, I probably wouldn't be where I am right here, not today.
Even skydiving, nice.
Yeah, I had a little stint. One thing you'll learn about me, Cam, is that I've had way too many hobbies. Like I've got, I don't know what it is with me, but I just love to get into something fully. And then when I feel like I've kind of mastered it, to my definition of mastering it, I'm like bored of it, and then I need to go to the next thing and like learn the next thing. And like I like the process of researching and learning something, and then when that process kind of ends, I'm just kind of like, meh, now what?
That's rad.
How about you, Cam? Do you know, is there something that comes to your mind that you just are not good at?
So I have a joke answer and an honest answer. I'll go with the joke one first, and it is setting up a Shopify store to sell a t-shirt. I can't believe I got that one through the finish line before we started the stream. But my real answer is drawing, like visual art. Just not naturally talented at that. Like, it doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like, but I also I think it's cool to lean into the things that you suck at a little bit, and like especially when it comes to an artistic realm, like it's kind of cool to just try to make something visual and see what it ends up looking like. Like it's not going to look real. Like if you a dog, I might end up like with a really rad abstract apricot, and we'll just lean into that. People will be, what was the inspiration for this? I think it's an apricot. Is this an apricot? And I'll just be like, yeah, it's roughly an apricot. And then I can make up like visual art, even if I like spatially just have to like picture something and design it. It's like my brain just doesn't do that, man. And I think it's cool to see how different somebody else's brain can work. They can just close their eyes and picture something and then duplicate that with just a pencil. That's fascinating, but to have that skill built into my firmware, like my hardware doesn't do that. And maybe with some sort of Neuralink software update in some other decade, maybe I'll be able to draw, but I ain't putting no chips in my brain.
I bet if you asked people who are good at drawing, if when they first started, if they were good at drawing, they'd probably tell you no.
Could be it.
So
could be it.
I think it's just practice. I used to be super good at drawing as a kid, and I used to hang out at my dad used to own a binder company, and I would hang out with the artists and just sit there as a little kid, like drawing with them. And then I grew up and don't practice anymore. Now I can't draw at all. So if I try to draw a dog, it probably would look like an apricot.
Well, maybe that's it though. Like to your whole point of like switching things once the learning curve kind of plateaus, maybe that is like, who knows, maybe I'll get super fired up on like watercolor paintings like later in life or something like that. Who knows? Maybe that will be like, ooh, there's plenty of room to progress here. Let's do it.
I'm surprised to hear that, because I actually thought when I saw that you had drawn the Space Mesa logo, that you were going to tell me you were also good at art, because I couldn't draw that and make it look that good and just make it seem that balanced and like it was so well done. So it surprises me to hear you say that. I did not expect it at all.
You know what? This is all going to make sense here because Joe's idea was that, well, maybe to nurture this and you're not just going to, wake up one day and be able to draw and that talent that's born with. I'll tell you why I could draw that logo. That logo is cursive, and I had Miss Davies at Mar Vista Elementary School in Aptos, California, and she was a stickler for cursive. So thank you, Miss Davies. I could draw a logo for my band because of your slapping our knuckles with rulers because we weren't paying attention enough in cursive class.
Miss Davies coming through. Do you think Miss Davies knew about your career later on and what all you were kind of doing and the profile you were building and all that stuff?
I just think she knew that I wasn't paying attention and it was time to work on cursive.
Yeah, my teachers knew that too. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, I guess the thing I'm the worst at probably, I don't know. I'd be curious to hear what your answer to what I'm the worst at would be, Joe. I'm sure you have some things because we know each other quite well, but probably just building consistency. I really struggle to build. I have to use systems. I have to, I know how to do it, but my ability to focus on things enough to maintain the types of habits I want to build and the types of consistency that I want, it's a real struggle for me. It's almost like I'm not capable without the use of tools of doing that. So that's the thing for me, and just focus in general. I mean, it's a constant battle for me to not get my focus pulled into some other direction, and to make sure the people around me know that I'm hearing them and that type of thing. So that's probably the thing I'm the worst at in the world. What do you think, Joe? You have something worse something else that I'm worse at than that?
That's exactly what I would have said, probably.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Or just like spacing out on things sometimes, But you've definitely gotten better at that in the last year or two.
Yeah, it is what it is. As I've gotten older, I've kind of decided to no longer beat myself up for the things that I suck at, and to focus on the things that I'm good at, because there's a lot of things I'm really good at too. And I think that's kind of a good idea for everybody, is to sort of embrace who you are. And, if there's things that you're not good at that you want to be good at, then work at getting better at them if you can. But I don't know. We all have pluses and minuses.
Knowing those weaknesses is the best thing ever, right?
Yeah.
Like being aware of it. And it was funny. You've mentioned ADD a couple times. So what do they do for ADD in school when you were in school, right? Like not much. What do they do?
Nothing.
Not much. My youngest daughter, she has been formally diagnosed. You can hang out, have a conversation with her for 5 minutes, and you're like, yeah, you're ADD doctor to tell you that. But man, they gave her this book, and it was incredible. I was like, wow. It basically teaches you, it's like a user's manual for your ADD. It is so rad. And I think that's pretty cool, to be able to be given a little bit of a toolkit for her to just understand how her brain works, and then to be able to actually grab control of it and not get frustrated. No,
that is cool.
It's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
And it's like a book designed for kids too.
I stole it. It'll work for anybody. Yeah, it is designed for kids. But
that's awesome.
Turns out things that are designed for kids work really well for adults with ADD.
Yeah, nice, man. Nice. Infected on TikTok. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. Asks if we will add real tracks like Whistler later on. We hope so. We're so early on. We haven't started reaching out to trail systems or any of these well-known tracks, but we have a long history of doing that in Mad Skills. We worked with Red Bull on Straight Rhythm for years, because Red Bull Straight Rhythm was basically Mad Skills motocross in real life. Those tracks were built by Jason Baker, who worked with your bandmate on the Red Bull, the crossover Red Bull mountain bike moto thing last year. So the builder, the guy who did the moto trail there, along with the guy in your band, what's the track builder in your band's name again?
Josh. Yeah,
Josh.
Josh was involved in that build too. So
okay. Yeah. So they would know Jason. He
100%.
And I think he did all the Straight Rhythm tracks. So yeah, we have a long history of doing that. We made a snowcross racing game, and we partnered with the Pro Snowcross Series in the United States, and did replica tracks. But if we do it, we'll do it right. We'll talk to those guys and we'll work with them on it, and go from there. So yeah, we want to, for sure. We get that a lot too.
So
So
things you could do on that topic, man. Wow, you could do. The sky's the limit for things you could model in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd love to be the first. I think it would be the first. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Mountain bike game that had an official Whistler replica, like the whole, like we released the whole Whistler bike park in collaboration with Whistler. Like you just go cruise with your buddies in virtual world, you know, all winter long while it's closed.
That'd be so rad.
I don't know how
Cam,
we do it.
do you remember the name of that book that you mentioned?
I just saw that
Yeah,
that
okay.
text there on YouTube, and I'd have to go look for it, and maybe there's a way to like add it in or something, user or something. Are we gonna take a note of that user's name or something? Because I can definitely get the name of that and let them know for sure.
It's
We
Lars. He
can-
hangs out with us every week. So Lars, I
Okay,
think
good.
we'll if you get that, Cam, you could even just come over and drop it on the Discord if you want to.
Perfect.
That's
Yeah.
cool though.
I'll make myself a note because that's the only way anything gets done.
Cool.
Cam, I had a question I wanted to ask you today, and it was, you know, for me, like some of my best memories learning to ride bikes and build dirt jumps and stuff was when I was a kid. Like I remember, my parents bought me a Hoffman Condor. It was just like Matt Hoffman's signature bike, and I thought it was the coolest thing. A dumb bike to buy as a kid because it's like I'm not riding vert, and it was definitely not like I was just riding dirt jumps. Why did I get some vert rider's signature bike? I don't know, but I did, and it weighed like 40 pounds. But it had decals that were made of like metal razor blades that would just slice your legs open, which was a terrible idea for that model year. But anyway. Like some of my best memories were just like getting a shovel with the buddies. There was an empty lot next door to our house, and we would just like build jumps on the empty lot. And, you know, they slowly get bigger and bigger, and kind of like learning how to jump and dig at the same time and figuring it all out. I was just kind of curious if you had any like memories. Like, did you build any trails as a little kid, and or anything like that? Like anything that stands out to you?
Oh yeah, that was the building blocks of everything. We'd go ride in the woods. The trail network is called the Forest of Nicene Marks in Aptos. And right next to the entry road to Nicene Marks, so basically where we would come out when we were done riding, there was an empty lot that was like elevated from the road level. So it had always had lips carved into, you know, where the road met the elevated lot. And so long before we started riding there was lips carved, build landings. But we started riding that place. It was right across the post office in Aptos, the actual post office. And so, you know, you'd see it when you'd be in the back seat of your parents' car, dropping off a letter or something. And so that place was the foundation of everything in our riding crews. We just had this empty piece of land to create whatever we want. And it evolved into a really amazing dirt jump park that you know, a lot of people who lived in places, a lot of pro riders who that, you know, would get shut down in the winter, they would just drop anchor in Aptos. We were competing with whether they be Canadians or, you know, Spaniards or people from France or Germany. We would all ride together all winter at our jump spot.
Nice.
And it taught us a lot about like building jumps, which then makes you a better rider if you're riding what you build. But obviously, our jumps at the beginning weren't that good. So it was like the Kelly Slater surfing in Florida. We started doing really because we would show up and the jumps that we were working on were way better than the jumps that we were practicing on. And that, you know, that ended up making us better contest riders, that I think, than if we were riding perfect features. But there's like an overhead photo of that jump spot. It evolved a lot over the course of many, many. But I'm gonna run over to my kitchen and grab it off the wall. So,
Nice.
Cool.
Right back.
Joe, I was thinking about something. I was wondering, like, if we have a live stream where we don't have anybody on with us and we don't have anything major going on, what do you think about doing one that's sort of themed in like just how to get better? And you know, kind of where we have a lot, like some maybe plan some specific tips and work with some of the crew that hangs out with us and has ideas, and we kind of like actually put some time into it on the front end. And it ends up being sort of a, you know, not a tutorial show, but like just focus on how people can pick up speed, whether it's line choice, technique, whatever.
Oh, there he is. He's showing the.
Nice.
Dang, dude, those look sick.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
Once the land was purchased, it was no longer allowed to ride down the road and cross 2 lanes of traffic to hit the big kickers. So we stacked up a taller roll-in and just made the jumps flow in a circle. And these existed long before we started riding them. Probably started riding them around 98, 97, 98, something like that. But they had already
Nice.
been there for a lot longer, and they lived on. But yeah, that's the post office jumps.
Yeah, that's the one you were saying would be cool if we were able to recreate them in game, right?
Oh, hey Joe, you know what? You and I saw that on Discord, but I don't think that made it onto the live.
Oh, cool. I'll come back.
I think Joe needs to change. I think, yeah, Joe, I think
there you
your
go, there you
live
go.
is kind of jacked.
No, it's
Hey,
good
thanks
now.
for the heads up there. Captain Jax, thank you for the heads up, buddy.
I'd zoom in if I could without screwing everything up, but I can't. But yeah, do you have like any, I'm sure you have a bunch of detailed footage of that place too, because if you did and you sent it to me, we probably could try to recreate them at some point in the game.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, like place has a lot of footage. The other Anthill film, Strength in Numbers, had a whole segment about the spot and stuff like that.
I'll say it sounds
And,
familiar. I think I know the spot because I've definitely heard of the post office jumps before.
Yeah, for sure. And I've often thought, like, man, it'd be crazy somewhere to like rebuild a set that is, based off of that.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. Put a band on a stage in the middle and just like have a festival. A bunch of bands on one big stage in the middle, have a festival. That'd be cool. But if nothing else, it sits in the kitchen. Every one of us who really kind of spent our whole childhood in that lot, we all have somewhere. Sterling Lawrence took that picture while we were filming that segment, and then we all got prints and good memories. Sit there, eat your breakfast cereal, and imagine your favorite lap through that set of jumps.
Dude, what just
Nice.
happened?
I just took a look at the list of people who have claimed the Space Mesa T-shirt, and I see Tobias, our partner at Session Syndicate, claimed his shirt, so he must be hanging out with us as well.
Zach, are you watching right now? Because I don't know what is going on here. This is why we do this in public, is so you guys can see the process of finding bugs.
Yeah.
I don't. Anyway, this is for Zach if he's watching. In-air rotation assist was unchecked, but it was on. So then I checked it on and checked it off. But then now my FOV got all screwed up. But I didn't change my FOV. Like, I have no idea what's happening. Maybe it was this correction.
Archie, thank you for the roses. Strix, thank you for the roses. The model, we showed it a few times, Strix, and we'll show it here in a second too. So hang with us, please. Here you go, Strix. That's the new one. It's like 98% done. So there you go, Charlie. The new one is up right now. It's like 98% done. Maggie she's just about ready to put the finishing touches on. Then we'll implement it. We hope early next week. And James, thanks for the like, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're pumped about this. This starts to give you all an idea of what this game's going to look like. You know, that's one of the challenges we have with building in public, is that we are showing something that looks in a way that it is not going to look. So oftentimes people think we look like other games or things like that, which is understandable, but it's also just not what it's going to be. So it's going to be good for us to start making this thing look like we want it to look, because I think it'll be clearer what we're going for in general as we move forward, like that framework spike, which we're pumped about.
Yeah. It's been over 2 hours, so I think maybe now's a good time to see if anyone else has questions for Cam, and we could run those. So you guys get your questions in. If you got them, drop them in chat, and we'll be paying attention.
Yeah, and just before you do that, we'll go until the bottom of this hour, because I'm visiting my brother, and we're gonna go get some dinner and listen to some live music and have a beer.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna have a beer later too, maybe. I'm trying to think what other questions I had for you, Cam.
My wife just said we got tickets to some sort of concert tonight, which is sick.
Nice. Who are you going to see?
I don't know. She doesn't say. She just somebody's got extra tickets. They just gave them to her. So it could be anybody. You never know. Could be any genre. Could be any band. You never know.
Cam,
Cool.
Cam, you ever ridden down? I'm gonna assume no, but have you ever ridden down in El Paso, Texas area?
Is that like a Johnny Cash song?
Probably. Who knows?
No, it's not Johnny Cash. It's somebody else. I haven't ridden in El Paso, Texas. But
What about
I
Angel
should,
Fire
man.
Bike Park in New Mexico? You ever been there?
I have not ridden there either.
Didn't expect you to,
Is
but I
it
thought
pretty
maybe.
close? Like, is El Paso like kind of I'm gonna look at the map before I say something stupid.
El Paso's on the border of like New Mexico, and Texas.
Okay, cool. Right there, right on the border. Got it. No, I haven't ridden either of those places, but I'm really trying to make a point of going places just to ride, because after like many years of going places for specific projects, specific events, stuff like that, I'm trying to make my own projects, go ride places, and the entire purpose is to go experience them and make YouTube videos about them. So like, I'm very ready for any recommendations of places that I have to ride and experience their trails. So I'm gonna put that on the list.
I wouldn't put El Paso on the list unless you like real rocky technical stuff. But if you do, I was just, if you're ever down here, I'd love to ride with you. I want to come ride up by you though, because I think your style of trails is more my jam. I grew up in the Midwest, and so I'm used to dirt and stuff, and now I'm stuck up here with sand and rocks, and it's weird.
Yeah. Totally. If you're ever in this area, you 100% hit me up, because Bend is funny. Like, we're getting better and better trails like every minute. We have access at Mount Bachelor, and in the middle of the winter, we do have some higher stuff that you can ride. The best stuff is in the woods, but that's where we're building the new stuff as well, in the woods. But also like short distance drives from here, and you're into like just the classic Pacific Northwest rainforesty, just the goods, and you don't have to drive far for that either. So there's a lot of good stuff within a 3-hour radius to here.
Nice. I will say that's one thing that is good about El Paso is like it's good winter riding. So if you ever need a place to escape in the winter, I mean the temps here it's usually like 50s winter.
That's what's up. Yeah. That's the name of the game when you love mountain biking and you Oregon. Is like there is that part of the season where you're just like, if I'm gonna mountain bike, I gotta go somewhere.
Yeah.
Go for a trip, get the fix, and then come back and do some snowboarding.
We have a question for you, Cam,
you
from our guy McCaul, who is just awesome. He's so helpful. He made the sort of the layout you see here on the live for us, because our first one or two were jank because we're rookies at this and we need a producer really bad. I'm just going to start saying that I'm going to manifest us having some sort of producer eventually. He asks, he's curious to hear if you could have any bike from any year you've ridden, which would it be? And what's your favorite mountain bike film, whether you're in it or not as well? So kind of favorite bike of all time, and any film that's also your favorite.
Okay, awesome.
And don't worry, Trek probably won't watch this, so you could say whatever you want.
Oh, it's so easy. I've been on Trek since 2004, so it's like I don't even really know any other bikes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But it's a split for me between the contest bike I rode in 2006 that I also shot my New World Disorder part on that year. It's either that bike or my current bike that was kind of like a celebrating 20 years custom job that I got last year from Trek. But like part of that color scheme was based on that old bike. So that 2006 bike has a lot of great memories for me, and so it's that one. But it is a 4-inch travel, 26-inch, super tiny bike that you would ride in contests in 2006. So like a more capable version of that I live my custom painted it's a chrome bike from 2006. So this bike is chrome, emerald, but it's got 12 speed, it's got a dropper post, it loves the jumps. So probably that one, because it would be right at home in these trails that you guys have built in the virtual world there. Also, there was another question that I just thought about right here when it was something similar to, now it's gone. I lost it. I forgot it.
Was it in the YouTube chat? That was where you were looking at it?
Yeah. Okay. It's the only one I'm looking at, but it was something related to what we were just talking about.
Yeah, your favorite mountain bike video of all time?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, that was part of this question too, and then I thought something else, but that one's gone. Man, I love the days of New World Disorder when it was like that is this moment in progression in the sport. But I've always kind of said that like a video. Oh, I just thought about another one. So Seasons is a video that's great to show somebody if they're just curious about mountain biking. Kind of just like does a great job of encapsulating the different genres and disciplines within mountain biking. but also Life Cycles was pretty darn cool. And that one, even though it's super old, has kind of proven to be somewhat timeless as well. Super ambitious concepts, just visually stunning, with writing that is, yes, old, but still just good enough to kind of still hold its own 17 years later. Ooh, and I see somebody says Death Grip 1 is their favorite. Clay Porter lives here in Bend, and I do Mount Bachelor laps with him on a regular basis, so I'll tell him that you said that. He'll be super psyched. Both those Death Grip movies are so good.
Now you've given me a list of movies I need to go watch.
Absolutely. There's something sweet about watching those old videos that are like 40 minutes long too, you know? Like,
Yeah.
instead of watching just a bunch of 4-minute videos, just to watch like a full
Yeah.
feature. So rad. Oh, I know where you're at right now. This is where Dusty and I found like the biggest air we caught.
Nice.
The best is when you get on an international flight and they actually have like an anthill film on there or something, and you're like, oh, now I know what I'm doing for at least an hour.
Totally.
Whoa, can't believe I didn't die. Okay, now I died. Oh, look, the water kind of looks like water now, guys. It's not pink.
We've got some folks on TikTok asking us about the Fox 40 on the front. I guess we're talking about Fox suspension at this point. If we will get Fox in the game, we're down with getting lots of companies in the game. We just haven't really gone down that road yet. It's pretty early. We've done a lot of that in the past with Mad Skills. Motocross games are just loaded with all kinds of real world sponsors, and we're open to all that stuff. We're just so early in development that really most of the talking to real companies and so forth are, when we put the bike in the game or crank collabs. That's kind of all we're really focusing on right now, but we're open to all that stuff as we go forward. One thing about action sports, people really love the brands that they use in action sports. There's a lot of loyalty, a lot of brand loyalty. It becomes a part of sort of your persona, who you are. And every skateboarder I know wears skate stuff. Every motocross racer I know certainly wears moto brands all the time. So people dig it. When in Mad Skills games, when we would have like real gear and fake gear that we made, everybody always preferred the real stuff over the fake stuff. I don't know how that would be outside of action sports, but it's just the way it is in action sports. So I don't know about the specifics, but the more people ping us and tell us who they want to see in the game, the more we'll probably think, hey, we got to get that person in the game. So I appreciate you letting us know that there is a vote for one.
Cam, did you
I
have
remembered
any...
what the thing is that I spaced on.
Okay, cool.
Somebody had asked, because I was talking about putting a different size wheel on that bike that I ride. They asked, well, do you extend the travel or do you put a spacer in because it changes the head angle? It obviously changes the geometry. I put that smaller front wheel on when I'm looking to go. And I like having a steeper head tube angle for jumping too. You look at BMX bikes, they'll have really steep head angles. Slope bikes, dirt jumpers, they'll have steep head angles. So I welcome the steeper head angle. Who knows if that commenter is even still here, but I wanted to get to that at some point. So there we go. Steep head angle for jumping is sweet. You're more aggressive over the front. It's better for jumping.
Nice.
What was I going to ask you, Cam? Oh, when you played, I know you probably haven't gotten a ton of time under your belt, but when you played, how did you feel like jumps felt in airtime? Did it feel too floaty or did it feel okay? I mean, you've gotten way more airtime in real life than I will ever have, so I was curious from your perspective.
I would say there are some jumps maybe where maybe you're in the air for a little bit longer than the feel would be normally on a real jump. I wouldn't say that it's if you're trying to figure out if it's one way or the other, probably more floaty than real life than less floaty.
Gotcha.
Do you think
it was so off that we need to adjust it, or do you think it felt fun and okay?
No, none of us who were playing it if asked the direct question and had to choose if it feels more or less floaty than real life, we would probably vote more, but that didn't come up in just authentic conversation when we were actually playing. And we played it at Dusty's childhood best friend's house, his buddy David, nicknamed Barbie Doll, and he's got a motocross track in his backyard. He's a great motocross rider. He would know too, and so that didn't pop up for us in conversation.
Gotcha.
Cam, have you ridden much moto in your life?
Yeah, I definitely was into moto before mountain biking, and it was moto is probably a reason why I fell in love with mountain biking so much, because I loved to do it. But the closest riding area to where we lived was like a 45-minute drive. And as a kid, dad's got to be off work and he's got to have time to take us. And so like we wanted to do it all the time. We couldn't. And we had BMX bikes and we wanted to go in the woods, which we did. We were taking our BMX. We really wanted to take our motocross bikes in the, but it's illegal, but we would do it anyways, but always knowing that we're not supposed to. So seeing somebody ride a dirt bike, and we're like, oh my God, we got to do this. Get our fix anytime. So my brother and I both really loved motocross. I think once we got into mountain biking, like my brother pursued motocross a little bit longer than I did. I was immediately, as soon as I threw my leg over my brother. But yeah, we were into it. My dad has a motorcycle background, and so he was into it in his younger years and completely got out of it once he changed career paths into being a firefighter and stuff. But there were always pictures around my grandparents' house of motorcycles, and so we were always interested in it. Like, Dad, you used to do this. What is this? Why don't you do it anymore? And so we kind of talked him into getting back into it so that he could get us into it.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Very cool. I think I'll just kind of go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say, are there any other questions in chat? If not, I'll start firing them off for Cam.
Go for it.
Cam, scariest moment riding your bike?
I know exactly what it was.
I knew you would.
Exactly what it was. So it was 2008 Rampage. I found myself at the top of the course for run 2 of finals. And in run 1, I learned that my line didn't.
Say that again. You learned what?
In run 1, I learned that my line didn't work. A piece of the line that I had built didn't work. And now I found myself at the top of the course with one more run to go. I had qualified first, so I felt like I was riding. But I had to drop into something that I hadn't ridden yet, try to piece it together down to the finish line.
Jeez.
And being at the top of that mountain with the helicopter above my head, hearing 3, 2, 1, knowing that I hadn't ridden what I was about to ride, was the most scared I've ever been.
I mean, Rampage alone, even if you had like dialed your lines, is ridiculous. So to be at the top with like, oh, here we go, blind, never ridden this before, that's insane. How did it turn out?
I will say what happened next led to good things. It led to changes within the format and the structure of the event that I think made the event better after all. But that year, you basically rode 2 competitions. On one day, you rode a zone that was the qualifying zone. So you spent the week leading up, building yourself a to try to qualify. If you made it in the top 12 or whatever it was to make it into the finals, you had that late afternoon to evening to go over to the final zone and decide what you wanted to ride and make a line. So you don't have the luxury of like time to try something, realize that you just did. You just had to go in and make something happen that evening, plus the next day leading up to finals. And my line didn't work. And after that, that run ended with me unconscious in a ditch.
Oh.
And I think what came from that was like Todd Barber, who's a good friend of mine who I work with together a lot still to this day with Rampage and Natural Selection Tour, and he was the unit production manager on a TV show I hosted for 3 years. We're tight. We've done a lot of stuff together. He saw that and was like, all right, maybe we can make some changes. And you don't know that change. Same with you guys developing this game until stuff happens and you realize, okay, we might want to change this. So now it's just one venue. You're working for 10 days to come up with your dream line. and that's the finals. There's no qualifying. It's just finals. And so it led to that, which is cool. And yeah, somebody's got to be the test dummy. And, you know, it worked for some people, although other people couldn't piece together their line because of it. You've got those like expert strategists. In the case of that year, even the youngster said Brandon could piece it together and put together a winning run. But yeah, it changed the rules for it, and I think it became a safer event. You know, maybe it was a cooler event where there was more strategy and you know you have to play your cards right to do well. I think there's some value in that, but I think it became a safer event because of my dumb ass.
Wow, it's good at least. At least something good came from it.
Yeah,
For sure.
Who's the craziest person you ever rode with, as far as just like what they would do on a bike? Just the wildest rider ever.
Robbie Borden or Alex Prohaska. Alex is like lesser known. The people who've been around for a long time will pro. He was just like the most skilled rider. He grew up in the Whistler Bike Park. Like he and Brandon were the same age and stuff. And Alex's dad, Tom Pro, was the bike park manager. And still to this day, like nobody rides that bike park the way that Alex does. Nobody knows that bike park the way that Alex does. And you know, he's a diesel mechanic, kills it at his job. He's got a kid now. He'll go out there, and the kids who are like actually in the know, they'll be like, "Shit, is that Alex Pro in the lift line?" And he likes to keep to himself and just rip. But he's probably like the most skilled and like ballsiest rider I've ever ridden with. He's badass. He was, and he still is badass. He's just under the radar now.
What's his name?
Alex Prohaska. It's spelled like Prochazka, and he kicks ass.
Archie is asking when's the new bike, so maybe it's a good idea to show the new bike. Archie, we've got it about 98% of the way there. The new Frameworks bike. We think it'll be in the game next week. I know we said that the last week or two, but you can see how close it is now. So we're pretty close. We think it'll be in there very soon. We are close to finishing up today, so I kind of want to wrap up with a couple of things. First of all, Cam, thanks so much for hanging out with us, man. I'm really pumped to be collabing with you and Space Mesa. I would like to encourage anybody who's hanging with us today to follow these guys on Instagram. You know, search them out on YouTube. I saw some live stuff on YouTube. I've been listening to them on Spotify for weeks now. I'd like to. I'm looking forward to getting some more stuff on there, Cam. I want to ask you quickly before we leave. What's next for Space Mesa and you guys? You were in the studio. What are you working on? What can we see coming the rest of the year into the next year?
Yeah, so we have more songs that we've done in our live set that we haven't recorded yet. And so we've been experimenting with which methods of recording we like the most. So in the studio last week, we did some acoustic stuff that was super fun, and kind of decided that we would save like the full band recordings for here at home, the way we've done it, and we'll continue to do it. But we'll probably put out some acoustic versions of songs that exist on Spotify now. We'll probably put out some acoustic versions of songs that may only just be acoustic, and we're gonna work through finishing some full band recordings of songs that exist in that list. And there's just tons of songs that we're continuing to write, my songs, Dusty's songs, and we would love to do more live stuff. So like, you know, it all comes down to syncing up time with the rest of the guys. Sync up. So in a dream world, we play some more live stuff, but we'll also just be putting more songs on Spotify with the goal of collecting them all up into like our first album that would just be, you know, 8 songs, all the stuff that we play live. And the more people that listen on Spotify and you know, get that monthly listener count up, the more people that just pay attention to what we're doing. Like it's kind of fun because it's like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, then hey, no pressure to stick around and listen. But it's kind of fun to watch the Instagram account go up and the monthly listener account. The people who are there are there because they like it. Maybe they share the passion for mountain biking that we do, and maybe they just like the music. And you know, the more people that we can slowly accumulate that are there for the right reasons, you know, doing stuff like this to get the word out is sweet, because It's a small community, and it's people who are involved in stuff like this game for the right reasons. And in the same ways you guys are trying to build a strong foundation for your core following for the game, we just do that for the music. Music is so polarizing. You either like it and you don't, and we're always just. And there will be a crossover on the Venn diagram of people who stumble upon our stuff and like it. That's the way we want to grow it, in the authentic way. So stuff like the T-shirt will help us be able to justify spending time recording and get out there with the rest of the guys and do some live shows. So any little thing you do helps us out to continue doing it.
Nice.
Very
good. I'll finish with a little housekeeping, and then I'll turn it over to you guys to say you're so long, so we'll end it. Stoked to have Cam with us today. We're doing Cranked Collab 002 today, the Space Mesa shirt. You've got, at this point, a little over 70 hours left to claim it if you haven't already. Make sure you do. Look out for your people. If you know somebody who's going to be into this and wish they had it later, make sure you shoot them a note and say, hey, go get the code from the live stream, and here's where you redeem it so they can claim it. Follow these guys, Space Mesa, on all the platforms. Definitely listen to them on Spotify or Apple. You guys on Apple Music as well, Cam?
We are, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
On Apple Music. I just thought of another thing I forgot about too. Kind of along this whole theme of like people who are doing stuff, because Hector from Bicycle Nightmares, he's got a really cool brand. Who knows? That could be a cool collab for you guys too. He's from like the Barcelona area. But he won the Deep Summer Photo Challenge slideshow competition in Whistler this year. He's a great photographer. He's just
Oh, hell yeah. I'd love to meet him.
In general, a great artist. And he asked if they could use one of our songs for his slideshow. He ended up winning Deep Summer this year, and he used our song Candle Wax, which coincidentally is the code for redeeming your in-game shirt here for Cranked.
Yep.
So go check out that slideshow. You'll love the riding in there. He did it with like kind of the youth, the riders like Finley Kirshenman, who I mentioned, like Lucy Van Easteren, just the youth who kind of represent the next wave of freeride mountain biker. That's who he shot in the Sea to Sky area, all black and white, to the soundtrack of our song. So it was an honor to be a part of that.
Oh yeah.
You know, we have all this cool like parallel stuff existing in our space now that it's, the sport has been around for long enough. We're developing a little culture. So those of you who are interested in any of this stuff, go check that Bicycle Nightmares, his Deep Summer Photo Challenge entry.
Sweet. Awesome. Guys, we think the Frameworks bike is going to be in the game early next week. We anticipate having a build next week where you can play it with, and we'll get rid of this jank that we've been having a lot of fun making fun of for all this time now. But Joe, what do you have to say before we close out? I know, you've been just sort of crushing this game for the last 2.5 hours. So what are you thinking, man? How are you feeling about things?
I know the TikTokers, if we're just sitting here talking, they won't stay on. You got to be playing. But no, I'm feeling good. We'll probably release a new build for you guys today if you're interested. It's mostly bug fixes and the drones in there. There's, as you saw, Antgrass put a bunch of new trail progress in there. So those are the main things. A lot of like housekeeping type stuff. And Zach was kind of cleaning things up and tidying things up, getting ready for the demo. So, drone, new trails, bug fixes. But
awesome. Cam, anything to say before we sign off today, man?
One last little question answered. Joey was asking if I've ever ridden. I haven't, but I'm gonna go and announce the Hard MTB League event, which is gonna be killer. And so I'm gonna be bringing my bike and getting some riding. Stoked to check that out. But
nice.
To answer that question from you, Brian, anything else to say? I got nothing else to say. I feel like I'm just super grateful you guys had me. I feel like it was awesome having all these questions from the group, and I think it's killer what you guys are doing. The fact that you've built this really dedicated community is awesome. I'm honored to be a part of it, and you're not getting rid of me by any stretch of the imagination. I got a game controller. I'm on to like continue along this ride that you guys.
Yeah, dude, lean into it, man. We'd love to have you back anytime it works out, anytime it makes sense with your schedule. If you've got something going on, But in general, you definitely are not going to lose us either. So we're around. We got a cool text thread going right now, and I look forward to talking music moving forward. If I ever hear anything I think might move you guys, I'll shoot it over, and you guys can check it out, and vice versa, I hope.
Please do. Yeah, that's what's up. I've got so many friends that I do that with. We send music back and forth. That's what I'm into. So let's do it.
Cool. Joe, anything to sign off with, brother?
No, but I will. Yeah, Scam. I will say, as you play more, if you got feedback for us, any ways we can make this game better, we're all ears, dude. We'd love to hear your feedback, especially from someone who's high level rider like you. You know.
Perfect. Thank you.
I ride,
Joe.
but dude, I'm like 1% of your ability at most. So you know.
But that's a magic place to be, right? Like that's where I'm at with so many sports. I just want to be good enough to enjoy. You know,
Yeah.
like there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
Cool. What's your in-game name, Cam? Adam wants to know. Did you establish that, or did it assign one to you?
So when I played, it was at a friend's house. I
Okay.
only acquired this today.
Right.
So now that I have the game loaded on my computer, I'll be able to set up an name, and then yeah, I'll be able to just drop that in Discord at some point
Cool.
once I have that. So we can
Cool.
put that
Right
out
on,
there.
guys. Well, hey, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. As always, it's always the highlight of my week. This week, it was more of a highlight. I've been excited about it the whole week, really. So just grateful that everybody spent time with us. Look after your friends and your family and the people you love the most. And we will see you guys back here next week, as always.
Thanks,
Thank
Cam.
you guys. Talk
See
to
you
you
guys.
soon.
Now the awkward.